Greetings, adventurers, and well met. Master of Dungeons here on the Master of Dungeons Twitch channel, twitch.tv/the Master of Dungeons. It is Tuesday night, the 23rd of July, which means it's time for some Vecna Eve of Ruin, our live D&D play game. Homebrew rules, playing the hardcover of Vecna Eve of Ruin. Before we get started and do a little bit of going through exactly, kind of a recap of what happened the last few sessions. Let us go ahead first and reintroduce all of the characters in case this is the first time that you've been joining us tonight. The characters are, of course, 10th level. Currently, they are in the city of Neverwinter. And go ahead and remind us if you're playing. So, Agnoth, please go ahead.
Sure thing. Agnoth is a gnoll from a village called undeath in the Kryn dynasty of Exandria. He left because he wanted to study magic and become an artificer, and there weren't a whole lot of local opportunities. One thing led to another. He found himself with the 10 eels, and then he found himself in Faerun and is still trying to work out why. Agnoth is fairly tall, as gnolls often are, at a little over 7 feet, but he's not particularly burly because he's an armorer and he has a robot suit to do that sort of stuff for him. When he can't wear that, he's probably trying not to draw attention to himself, which might seem tricky, except the party is full of excellent distractions.
That is very true. That is very true. Thank you, Agnoth. And next up, we have Blink.
Blink also is from that Kryn sort of area in Exandria and ended up in Faerun. He tried to figure out why, but he usually doesn't get that deep into the alphabet, so he stopped. But he's just here following Renly because he's always been after a squad leader, and he's found one, and will do anything to protect his leader and his team, with maybe one exception. Echo Knight, level 10.
All right, thank you very much, Blink. And then we have Captain Renly.
Hey everybody, my name's Greg. I play Captain Renly, who is an Aasimar, Fathomless, Pact of the Tome, Warlock. Apparently the captain. And I try my best to blast things and whip out a little tentacle when need be in battle, but other than that, I kind of just spend most of my time telling Blink what to do.
All right, thank you very much, Renly. And then we have Das.
All right, so we have here a 6'8", maybe well over 7 feet, with his horns included, Minotaur from the other Kryn, Das the Blessed, or Das the Best, as he knows himself. He is from the Dragonlance setting and has kind of been thrown together in Faerun with this unusual collection of colleagues coming from the other Kryn, trying to figure out both where he is and also their strange dynamic among themselves. He is a very confident Oath of Conquest paladin who considers himself kind of the harbinger of the returned gods of all of Kryn.
Thank you very much, Das. And then we have Devana.
Devana is one of the original members of the Captain of Tails. And she is a Twilight Cleric. If you look at her, she might think she is an elf. Her skin is a little ashen for an elf. She is covered with celestial star tattoos, golden tattoos. But when she walks away, she has a tail. So you might be wondering what she is. If you ever talk to her about it, especially over a drink, she'll let you know that she's from over the mountain. And she'll just point to the furthest mountain range away. And she'll also let you know that absolutely no one is chasing her.
All right, thank you very much, Devana. And then we have Minerva. Welcome back, Minerva.
Yay, it's good to be back. Oh, I'm probably on mute.
Nope, you're good.
Nope, I'm not. I wasn't on mute. Surprise. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Well, Minerva is, a mature woman. She stands very upright, and she kind of dresses like a Victorian shopkeeper. And her hair is kind of piled on top of her head and flows down in tendrils with a streak of gray in the front. Her skin kind of has a lavender tint to it, and she looks like she's always trying to size you up and see if you're hiding anything. And occasionally, she may speak into your mind. She is also from the Call of the Netherdeep campaign. She was a proprietor of More Curiosities in Port Damali before ending up in that adventure. She likes to seek out strange artifacts and might have been kind of cursed by one. She's a variant. Not a variant, a custom lineage, aberrant mind sorcerer, and she's happy to be back. And there's she just got a new ring. She's kind of happy about it.
All right. Yes, she did. Thank you very much, Minerva. And everyone, go ahead and start with inspiration in case you don't have it from the last session. So a little bit of a recap. Every one of the characters are from a different hardcover campaign that we've ran together. 5 of them are from the Call of the Netherdeep hardcover book. The characters were all created as Adventures League characters, but we've gone back, had the players kind of recreate the characters at 10th level, and then kind of transition. That way, they still have their AL characters that are separate, which they are separate, as the characters have found out the moment each one of the characters had gained 10th level in their previous campaign. The other character, Das, is from the Shadow of the Dragon Queen hardcover. But the moment that each one of those characters had achieved 10th level, they found themselves plummeting through the air, landing in the Sea of Swords. Very confused, they made their way to the shore. Having found the city of Neverwinter, having found the city of Neverwinter, had traveled around trying to find some information about where they were at, how they've gotten here, things of that nature. Made their way to the Moonstone Mask, encountered a ghost, a spirit that inhabited the mask there, named Sabine, that helped give them a little bit of the lay of the land, any information about the realm that they find themselves in. Sabine could supply, as well as the patron of the Moonstone Mask itself. She has been helping them also. The characters were looking around for some information, trying to find a person that might have had information for them somewhere in the Tower District. When they got to this old curiosity shop, they discovered that it had been vacant and abandoned since Mount Hootenau had kind of spewed lava throughout parts of the city. And busting in, they were able to find that the place was in disrepair. Exiting the shop, they found themselves surrounded by mist, and then found themselves in a strange, eerie land, a very dark, desolate forest, very dark and eerie forest around themselves. They found a clearing near a small pool where they received a odd card reading from a woman named Madame Eva, who explained to them that they are soul-bound. They're soul-bonded characters, meaning that they are just a slight sliver from an original soul that was destined for greatness and heroic deeds. And this sliver of that soul has been created by what? They're not really sure. Madame Eva kept saying the balance had created them for something even more heroic than what their original destinies had planned. And now they had found themselves back in Neverwinter after that situation. And Minerva, a bit distraught. Minerva, actually, the player could not play with us the last session, so she had set to cleaning up the old curiosity shop so she could perhaps maybe open it up herself. Her companions, Captain Ridley and the rest of the eels, went back, stopped by the Hall of Justice, spoke with Protector Talon Hawkwinter, who had gone through and explained that he was a member of the Lord's Alliance. They weren't going to be necessarily working for the town militia, which is controlled by Degalt Neverember from the Castle Never, as well as different barracks and such throughout the city. And their first mission was to go out to find Lord Johnfrey Gondaman. During that investigation, it took a number of days to try to track them down. But eventually, when you had finally found Lord Gondaman, his body had been ravaged, and you're not sure whether it had been by some sort of beast, such like that. But over the course of a couple of months, all of the leads have gone cold. Um, and we find ourselves almost a year to the day after joining the Lord's Alliance and setting up and the return to Neverwinter from that eerie, dark forest where you met Madame Ava. So, again, if there's anything specific that your character's been doing in that time period, feel free to share that. Just some ideas about what you might have been doing in that time frame. Any contacts, obviously, Minerva, you were discussing wanting to make a few contacts to enable you to use your background feature here in Toril. So you definitely could have been doing that, especially with your curiosity shop.
Definitely, that's the curiosity shop before was kind of a front. So yes, hopefully it'll be a place where goods could be channeled through. Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a rogue or a thief. You just sell things that other people bring to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. What about anybody else? Anyone have any particular things that they've been doing in this year? Obviously, you've been working with the Lord's Alliance. Minerva, you did have the opportunity to join if you wanted to. None of the your companions wanted to speak for you, but they did. Of course, Lord Hawkwinter, Protector Hawkwinter, did leave that open if you ever wanted to join the Lord's Alliance as well. You did discover, of course, from your companions that they do seek to do good throughout the region via political power. And of course, Protector Hawkwinter would have definitely said that someone with your skills and your knowledge would be definitely welcomed amongst the people and the operatives of the Lord's Alliance.
So Devana probably would have gone on many adventures with the crew, trying to establish ourselves in the city.
Mhm.
But we've been in it one place a little bit too long for her comfort. So at different points, she might have taken the one of the messaging stones, and wandered off just to make sure that nobody was on her tail.
Sure. Of course, no one's following you. But what is everyone's background feature, by the way? So we know Minerva's was the criminal contacts. What about Agnoth, Blink, Renly, Das, and Devana? What were your background features from your background?
So Agnoth was a guild artisan, although that was for a guild that doesn't really exist in this town. Maybe he might find something else, but I think he's more interested at this point in tracking down more information about, well, he doesn't know exactly what he's looking for, so it could be anything. So he's just likely got one of those sort of evidence room things in a basement somewhere where he tries to make sense of what we're doing.
With like a big, huge, wall of things plastered and pinned up to the wall with like little red ribbons and things
like
going
that, yeah.
all over. Okay. I mean, yeah, you could easily have joined. There's a number of guilds in Neverwinter that you could have joined. Armorer guilds. There's also like an Arcanist guild, things like that you could easily play your trade as an artificer. Artificers aren't uncommon. Not necessarily, common or extremely rare, but they're known here in the Sword Coast, and you're able to easily find companions to join a guild here as well. What about Blink, or I should say, what did you have Blink do in this year?
Yeah, coming over to a new coast means new waters, means new depths to dive into and explore. Being a fathomless warlock, Renly has a swim speed and can breathe underwater. He can talk underwater. So spent a lot of time with like, all right, Blink, you're not going to leave me alone. So row me out to the middle of this water, and I'm going to dive down and wait till I tug on the rope to pull me up. My background.
Sir, I have a swim speed. I'm coming down with you.
Oh, no. We can't let anybody steal our boat, Blink. You have to guard the boat.
Okay, the Echo's going down with you, sir.
No problem. But Renly was a bit of a naive little kind of con person / little pickpocket himself before he found the tome that he from his patron Hadal that completely changed his trajectory. So he's got a little bit of a criminal background to him, but it is like he's in way over his element if the town has more than like 100 people. So my criminal contact is probably Minerva.
There you go. But no, you could like definitely with your skills and stuff like that. You could even like help like the local fishmongers and stuff like that, going out and helping, basically kind of integrating yourselves into the city itself. Obviously, working with the Lord's Alliance, helping to not only train any soldiers and such like that might be guarding the Hall of Justice and things of that nature. Obviously, Das. With your martial prowess and such like that, even taking units from the local militia and whipping them, as you would say, into fighting shape. Anything particular for Das that you would have been doing outside of that?
Yeah. Doth has the Knight of Solamnia background, so it's not quite relevant here, and finding the knights are not really represented in this town. He would most likely be spending time with, having been impressed with the sort of old grizzled Justicar Talon Hawkwinter, who runs I believe the Hall of Justice. I think Das, both finding someone who an equal of sorts in his mind, even though Justicar is clearly much more established than Das, but Das would definitely find the opportunity to sort of worm his way into working with him and whipping the various guards into shape, thinking that his experience, in his view, having helped run the defense of Calaman over in Ansalon, that he could help with the continued protection of Neverwinter.
Okay, and what is your background exactly? What is the feature of it again for the knights?
Wire of Solamnia, and it says the Knights of Solamnia provide you free, modest lodging and food at any of their fortresses or encampments.
Okay, so what we're going to do in the course of working with the Lord's Alliance, you've made some contacts as well with the Order of the Gauntlet, which is a group of very good, an order that do their best to protect the downtrodden, things like that. So we'll say that you can use that background feature amongst the Lord's Alliance or members of the Order of the Gauntlet to kind of integrate you into Neverwinter itself as well.
Excellent.
And Devana, was your background feature?
My background feature is Far Traveler.
Okay.
Because no one
Exactly.
is chasing me.
Yeah, so your background feature is completely still working, regardless of where you're at. Of course, Renly, you do find that Hadal has, you have complete contact with Hadal in this realm. Hadal is known as a warlock patron as well. You might have even ventured down with Agnoth to the outskirts of Candle Keep. Perhaps maybe one of your adventures also might have been for a special secret, book, a book that Candle Keep doesn't have, to be able to get yourself entrance into the keep. There you do learn, of course, a little bit about different planar travel and things of that nature. But again, nothing on the whole soul bonded situation that you find yourselves in. Checking this out, over the course of the year, trying to discover what, being soul bonded means. The only information that you're ever really able, that you are able to gain from that is everything that Madame Ava had spoken of. With regards to the reading that she had given you. But I do believe that I have a handout. Let me see here. I think I put it all in your journals already. I'm going to show it to you again just in case. That is the information. The handout there is the information that you would have gained about Neverwinter in the past year that you've been here. Working with the Lord's Alliance and such like that, you actually did have a chance to meet Lord Neverember. But he does not have any recollection of ever meeting with you from that dream that you had For the viewers, we also played as a session 0 for the characters. We did play the Vecna Nest of the Eldritch Eye, kind of the prequel to this adventure, with their characters playing third level conversions of their characters, save for Agnoth, who played a dwarf. And if you go back through and watch the videos on demand or going up on YouTube here fairly soon, Agnoth and Magdan, the rogue, seem to have a little bit of an interconnection there that they explored in some of the previous sessions. And Lord Neverember didn't seem to recognize you. Of course, for him, it was years ago. For you, it was just, perhaps maybe at the time, maybe a few months. Of course, a year has passed since you've found yourselves in Neverwinter. And every once in a while, you do get called by different nobles, different houses, different things, even the Lord Neverember and such like that, with the Lord's Alliance, to solve certain cases here and there. Anything else that you might have done within the year before we get started with tonight's session?
No, I think with that, we would have just been keeping our ears out, just like listening for any rumors of like what could be this this mission that we're here for, which might have caused a little bit unnerving excitement when you hear something bad's going on, because be like, great, that might be an opportunity for why we're here. But other than that, it's much longer than Renly planned on being here, so he's looking forward to jump at any rumor or conspiracy he can get his hands on.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that whole thing ringing in your ears that Agnod's mentioning about Magdan, 20 years and all of that, such like that, might perhaps maybe even be weighing on your thoughts and such. But you do get a call, not a call, but a messenger, a torch comes by. Again, the street urchins that for a few coin will take messages throughout the city and such like that. And you do receive a message from Justicar Hawkwinter that there is a request for some adventurers by Lord Dagult Neverember. And when you have a chance this morning, after your meal, preferably before midday, perhaps mid-morning, to make your way to Lord Neverember's villa here in Neverwinter, as he does not stay at the castle. You do understand that the Hall of Justice was once his domicile, but it's been since turned back over to the priests of Tyr and such like that, and he does have a modest villa here in the city itself.
But wait, sir, we can't go anywhere until Ivana gets back, wherever she went.
Ivana walked as you guys are eating breakfast.
Is that eggplant?
Oh, there's another question for you.
Yes, I brought eggplant back from the mountains.
That's another thing. What do you want to do for your living arrangements? You could easily have a shared abode if you all wish. You can have your own residences. How do you want how would you have spent the last year here? Would you have taken up residence at the Moonstone Mask, which you could do if that's what you desire?
Are there rooms over the shop? I mean, if there are, that's where Minerva is. You
do know that, if you recall, there was a back room that was as a private quarters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's if it's just her, then she would. I'm assuming that there's a communal space that we all meet up on.
Sure. Yeah.
I think if Minerva was there, Devana would have suggested that we get a little multi-room house someplace very close.
In the Tower District? You can totally do that.
Yeah.
Renly would say, I don't think I have a choice in the matter of having a roommate, so might as well have multiple.
Can I still have top bunk, sir?
I will not be sleeping in a bunk bed, Blink, but you and your Echo can have a set of bunk beds.
top and bottom. Oh wow!
Here's some gold.
So maybe we can find a cute little multi-level brownstone or something like that with lots of little rooms.
Ocean view?
First of all, if possible. Well, I don't. Is there a view from the tower to see just?
Yeah, probably not for the like maybe in the distance you might be able to see the bay, but you probably get something along the river, which shouldn't be a problem. A couple of blocks
Barnacles.
would be a few blocks away from Minerva's shop.
That'd be nice.
So yeah,
It's not necessity, but preference.
of course. But yeah, you can, of course, have found that within the first month or two of establishing yourselves in Neverwinter, and that has become your basically the company house, as it were, for the captain and 10 eels. But this morning, again, you've received a message at your manor, and have been instructed by Protector Hawkwinder to report to Lord Degalt Neverember's manor sometime mid-morning, if possible.
Das, your boss's house, is it nice, or what's the deal here? Should we finish breakfast before going over?
Yes, I would not be eating breakfast while we're there. Don't bring your breakfast. Bring a nice suit. Bring a nice suit of armor. Look presentable.
You say that like I dress improper at certain points, which is just foolhardy, Das.
Oh no, I wasn't necessarily saying that about you.
Oh, got it.
Well,
Savannah
that was
proceeds
fun.
to make some roast
I just wanted
for dinner for breakfast.
I'd never gainsay you in character, Greg, but you were pointing at Mitch's icon. So
I'll work that out.
No.
Hey, careful now.
Yes, but look alive, friends. Eat your breakfast.
Cultists cause problems.
Grand adventures ahead.
I mean, if we want to look presentable, sir, the car's ready. We can take the cart there.
Oh, you actually did that?
Sir, you gave. Yeah, of course I did, sir. I mean, it was going to be the mid image break, but I mean,
well, everybody, it looks as though our chariot awaits, so to speak. I know it's
Mustang
not a
is here
chariot.
for you, sir. Sir.
You call her Mustang, I'll call her Sally. It's time to ride, Sally, ride.
Oh my God.
All right, and Blink will bend down because it's a high climb, sir. So hold on a second, and he pulls out. He gets low and prostrate, pulls out a rod, pushes a button. Step on up, sir. Only the best for you, Captain.
That's not necessary. A little higher, please. Click the button and then.
Hold on, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, sir.
Like I was saying, it's not necessary at all. Thank you. And I'll climb aboard.
Sure. So you can get in the new ride and make your way through the streets of Neverwinter. And of course, you do arrive at a fairly modest villa here in Neverwinter. What you've discovered throughout your stay here in the last years is that Lord Degalt Neverember is fairly popular amongst the people, and does has some dealings with the Hall of Justice, but a lot of his dealings are with the Church of Ogma as well. And when you arrive, the guards are aware of your summons and do show you in to an audience chamber in the manor. Looking about, you see there are several of the local Neverwinter guards present, as are 3 priests that are prominently wearing the vestments and holy symbols of Ogma, the god of inspiration, invention, of course, as well, and knowledge from the House of Knowledge. Agnoth, you do recognize one or two of them from the times going back, since Ogma is also the god of invention. Checking out perhaps maybe on a regular basis information from the House of Knowledge. As you enter the chamber, you do see Lord Never Emperor kind of busy discussing some different politics with a few of his advisors here and there. And when you enter the chamber, he kind of glances over to his one of his advisors in mid-sentence and kind of holds up a hand and says, "Pardon, pardon," and goes ahead and breaks off the discussion and kind of stands up. Greetings, greetings, my heroic friends. I'm very glad you came. I dare say that it seems that terrible events are afoot. And he kind of claps his hands, and you see some of the advisors kind of bow their heads, and a couple of the priests of Ogma leave with some of the guards, as well as some of the as well as all the advisors. And you note there's just only a couple of guards and one of the priests kind of remaining behind. And
Agnoth is currently looking at Renly.
I'll be like bowing my head in reverence to the priest, going out like, sorry for the bad news, sorry. And as they walk out, I'll just be like, terrible news, you say?
And he'll gesture for everyone to have a seat. There's a number of chairs around, and nothing, extravagant. Again, very modest. He doesn't, as the Lord of Neverwinter, he doesn't really show any. I mean, other than his clothes aren't threadbare, but they're not extremely extravagant or anything of that nature. He says, "Well, I was made aware by Justicar Hawkwinter that you had investigated missing Lord Gondaman, going about a year ago, yes?"
Renly will look as though he's having trouble remembering the name and look at Agnoth.
Yes, I think that was our first assignment. It didn't go anywhere. The trail went dead, but...
As was he, yes. And of course, you were not to blame for such a thing, but it does seem that we do have another situation of some missing citizens.
Important, noble, wealthy citizens?
Well, specifically, 4 prominent citizens have been kidnapped in the past several days. Might I count on your help in rescuing them?
Absolutely. We would never let the preeminent citizens of Neverwinter go missing for long. They're needed here to lead and guide and pay for things.
Oh, of course, the protection of the citizenry of Neverwinter is my first priority, of course. I would say that they're very interesting, and I'm not sure if there's anything underlying amongst the 4 of them that went missing. The first was Eldon Keyword. He's a very highly knowledgeable scholar who seems to specialize in knowledge of the outer planes. Type that in chat for you as well.
Make an eye contact with the party members. I think that would probably pique our interest a little bit. The mention of the outer planes.
Most definitely. Minerva's like peeked up a little. It's like,
and he continues on and says, then there's Indrina Lamson Settle. She's a human actor who moves in Neverwinter's highest social circles. again, for those of you that are familiar with magics, I'm not sure if you've met them or not, but Sarcel Malinosh, a human wild magic sorcerer, who, from what I understand, plumbs the mysteries of the Outer Planes.
Ooh, a lot of planar folk going missing.
Yes, indeed.
You said they were kind of fancy, sir.
Renly thinks for a moment about trying to spell the difference and gives up.
Okay, fair enough. And then finally, Lord Neverember says the other is a gnome, a historian of sorts by the name of Umberto Nobland. He's written many books on various deities. And you don't even have to make a check, Agnoth, going through the House of Knowledge. You've actually, and perhaps maybe in Divana, maybe Das, just kind of examining in your spare time some of the deities of the realms, things like that. You've perhaps maybe even read a couple of the books by this Umberto Noblin. Now, I can say that don't believe the victims know one another at all. There doesn't really appear to be any connection between them, save that each one of them was kidnapped at night.
Excuse me, your lordship, but I think we know there was no connection between them, because otherwise when they grabbed one of them, the rest of them would have been pulled along.
He looks from Blink, kind of used to this, and stares blankly at Renly.
Do something.
I'll blink for a couple of seconds before I just say, sorry. Honestly, sometimes I don't even notice it anymore. But they're not connected. They're linked. No. Maybe there's something in common with all of the kidnapping. Blink. But yes, you say that other than the fact that they were all a bit prestigious and nobles of Neverwinter, the only other thing that was in common was that they were all taken at night, you say?
Yes, and kind of nods to the remaining priest of Ogma that stands there and says, I funded divinations from the House of Knowledge, hoping to find the victims. But the priests, and the priest kind of nods and kind of steps over to the side of Lord Neverember and says, and he kind of looks up at the priest, and the priest says, yes. Seems that the mystical trail of the victims ends at a specific place. A place that is called the Halix Mausoleum in the Neverdeath Graveyard.
Well, where one trail ends, another begins. That is where we shall start our investigation, I say. Looking back at the 10 eels and say, anybody up for a mausoleum trip today?
Sounds like a good day.
Sounds interesting.
And the priest kind of glances quickly over at Lord Neverember, and Lord Neverember kind of holds his hand up and allows you to finish. And then he kind of nods to the priest, and the priest says, we do worry that our inability to see inside this mausoleum means that an unknown opponent seems to be blocking our divinations.
It could also be the walls.
And he kind of looks confused and looks over to Lord Neverember. Neverember again looks to Captain Renly.
Minerva just shrugs.
Every once in a while, he has a point. Sometimes
this is not one of those times.
Sometimes communication magic can get a little, I believe the technical term is wonky. And maybe there's something about the mausoleum or, spooky things happening at a mausoleum that might be interfering. You never know. Unless you're us, and then we'll know once we investigate.
I mean, I assume that you tried calling them, and that didn't work.
None of our divinations worked at all.
sending us evocation. Interestingly enough.
Well, that's why you hire people like us, right?
Yes, if you can investigate these disappearances, I can promise each of you, I know that you have a communal abode, but I could offer you fine houses for each one of you yourselves in Neverwinter, or perhaps lands outside of the city. If any of you wish to ply your trades away from the bustle of the metropolis.
I can have a shop annex.
A warehouse, as it were, right?
Yeah, right?
Off-site. I mean, that's clever.
The next adventure begins.
Smart business.
Right.
At a warehouse on the outskirts of the city.
Right.
Did you burn down the warehouse? Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Well, so Alex Mausoleum in Never Death Graveyard. Would we, having spent enough time in Neverwinter, just know that Never Death is probably the name of the graveyard? But does the name Halix ring any bells to any of us?
You can go ahead and give me a history check if you wish.
Oh, I'm not terrible at that.
Nothing major. It doesn't sound like any particular like noble family. It might just be the name of a specific mausoleum that might hold multiple families, or just like a place where people were interred in this mausoleum instead of being buried.
More of a known landmark than,
Yes,
I know
yes.
the people in there. Okay.
Yes, and of course, since we're all on the map, I do believe you're all on the map, correct? Yeah, you're on the
Yes,
Neverwinter map. Yeah, so you can see that the Never Death Graveyard is down here in the southern part of the city. Let me go ahead and pull us over to that page.
Hey, Agnoth, you're the smart one, right?
I don't like where this is going.
Well, no, I don't want Renly to hear me say it, but why would they call it Never Death Graveyard? Isn't everyone dead in a graveyard? Isn't that kind of why it's a graveyard?
Okay, yes. This is probably the most ironically named graveyard I've ever heard of.
We don't know if there's iron there or not. They can't see.
That too, but
Lord Neverember and the priest do provide information about Never Death Graveyard. The priest does say it does contain two connected cemeteries. Very large, very sprawling. The main graveyard, of course, and then there's the pauper's graveyard. There is a thick stone wall that separates the crypts of the wealthy from the graves of the poor. The main graveyard itself holds several mausoleums, some with expansive underground chambers. And the pauper's graveyard features numerous simple headstones, but a few civic-minded citizens funded communal catacombs when the graveyards were first built as well.
Well, we have a location to start our investigation. We've got the names of our queries that we're looking for, and we know that there are big, thick walls there.
Well, it's early in the day, so...
Right? It doesn't feel as spooky or ominous if we're going to investigate during the day. It's a lot of the darkness and the torches that make it spooky, right?
sure.
We'll be fine.
Devon just cocks her head like, what's spooky about that?
All right.
And Lord Neverember kind of he kind of nods to the priest of Ogman. You see the couple of guards there go ahead, and one of them leaves with the priest to escort them out. And Lord Neverember looks to the rest of you if you have any other questions.
There is the indelicate matter of compensation. I'm sorry to say. Surely the importance of life. The importance of life is what really matters here. You can't really put a price on that. But if you had to.
He kind of cocks his head to the side, raising an eyebrow, and says, "Did just promise each of you a fine house or lands outside the town if you're able to discover
Well, where-
what happened to these unfortunate citizens, and bring their kidnappers to justice, of course."
Yes, of course. And then I'll mutter under my breath, yeah, but it's the taxes that kill you. And I'll say, of course, sorry. Just, you always have to ask. It's one of those uncomfortable kind of like gut reactions at the end of a meeting of such sorts. Anyway, and we'll say, right, eels?
We are
Time to-
delighted to be of service. At this point, Doss is done with the conversation, and it's just like marching, pointing me to never death.
Also that.
Even though we are not playing AL, we are playing homebrew. I'm still going to allow you to have the shared campaigns thing from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. If there's any potions or scrolls or any, of course, items you'd like to purchase before heading to the graveyard, to the Never Death Graveyard, cemetery, feel free to purchase anything you'd like from the Player's Handbook or that shared campaigns for potions and scrolls. Is that handout here in
we
our?
have made enough connections to buy greater potions, I feel like.
Yes. Let me. I don't think I don't have that here. So give me 1 second. We'll pull that over using our transmogrifier. Let's pull it from this one.
And I assume we would have been making money over the year and stuff like that. So we weren't hurting for cash at the get-go, but I would
Yeah.
assume we are still not.
Yeah, nothing. The major thing you would have gotten within the last year would be, of course, everyone's item. And by the way, while I'm getting this handout together, everyone go ahead and share. Start with Agnoth, then Blink. Everyone share what item and what you also gained, I believe, either proficiency in a tool or a language as well. So go ahead and share that, Agnoth, and we'll start with Agnoth and continue on. Go ahead, Agnoth.
Yep, the item is a circlet of blasting because it's very fitting for his general modus operandi to be doing blasting, I suppose. And his other proficiency, which he learned from the year of dealing with all sorts of contacts he could find to try to get information on what we're supposed to be doing here. He expected it to be a lot of slightly shady contacts, and so he picked up the language Undercommon while doing that.
Excellent. And what about Blank?
Well, Blink already had proficiency in water vehicles. That's why he was rowing Renly around, but realized he needed to be a little bit more flexible. So he picked up proficiency in land vehicles, and Captain Renly bought him this sweet ride back there as a result. You've already seen the magic item. Blink obtained an immovable rod to help Captain Renly climb up into the cart because it's pretty tall.
What about Renly?
Renly found a lot of things on the bottom of the sea, including a chest that he opened and found a suit of elven chain in there, which Blink was all for him keeping because it helps keep the captain a little safer. And then I
Yes, sir.
actually took the language of Celestial, and for those of you like mechanically minded people saying, don't you already know that? No, because as an Asmar, I took Primordial instead of Celestial. So now I have Common and Primordial and Celestial.
Excellent. And what about Das?
So Doss would have basically, in his hanging around with Talon, Hawkwinter, and team, looked for an opportunity to basically upgrade his armor, and hopefully maybe through the process in their armory found maybe not one, but maybe several suits of plate armor that were magical in nature that could be cobbled together into a new, finer version of his own armor, given his size. With that, he probably would take it to a blacksmith to ensure it mirrored exactly what his prior armor looked like, with the constellations of the returned gods of Kryn that he had emblazoned on it before. Although, for reasons he could not quite exactly fathom, he did note that they should add a new additional constellation that he had not had before, that he just felt he should also add as well, reflecting a new edition of one of the other gods of Kryn. Also, unbeknownst to exact reasons why to him, he also has found that he can speak the Draconic language, which does
Okay.
make him flash back to thinking that something's missing from his sort of companions, but he doesn't know exactly what that thing or that animal or creature was. But for some reason, something happened sort of which he can't quite place, maybe in another dimension that suddenly allowed him to now be able to speak Draconic.
Excellent. And what about Devana?
Devana, slowly over the year, has been learning Infernal. Who knows where she's been going in the mountains that she came out Infernal. However, Sarah, the player, neglected to see where she got awarded choice.
Got awarded what? I'm sorry?
I don't know what item you gave me.
Oh, the Guardian Emblem that you asked for.
Excellent. So I also have come back from the mountains with something to allow me to protect my team better, which is a new brooch.
I believe it has 3 charges that you gain them back at dawn, and you can use your reaction to negate crits, I believe, right?
Correct, yes.
Excellent. And then Minerva, what did you find rummaging through the ruins of the Curiosity Shop as you were cleaning things up?
Well, yes, if I found it there, that's good. Yes, it is a very interesting ring that had like this. It looks like a little brain on it, and yes, after studying it for a little while, she realized it would prevent people from reading her mind, which she feels is very good because she often tries to read people's minds. So she likes having that protection, and so she has a wonderful ring of mind shielding, and also due to the warping influence of the far realm that originally gave her powers, she now finds that she can speak deep speech.
Nice. And as Panda Rage mentions, Hooked on Infernal worked for her. Or worked for them.
Yeah.
Worked for them. My apologies. Hooked on Infernal. I got to find that book.
And most trinkets that I bring back, I do bring back from Minerva's shop. But this particular one I thought could serve me better if I kept it than giving it to Minerva.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And from what you've discovered, Minerva, I believe Agnoth you have Identify, right?
Mm-hmm.
And such
I
like
know.
that.
I hope so.
I would hope
I
so
think
as an artificer, yeah.
I think we worked out that there was some ritual for it.
Yeah. So yeah, it does not appear to have a soul in it that any magics were able to detect from the ring of mind shielding.
That's good. I'm glad it's free from.
Oh no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was saying I'm glad it's free from another soul, and that it's clear, so I won't hear some other voice in my head.
And of course, more importantly, it frees it up for you to
Yes.
be put in there if need be. Not necessarily
Yes,
like a genie warlock's bottle or anything, but
that's if you die, right? Your soul enters it.
your soul enters the ring. Yes, but you will note then in your journals, I did put the shared campaigns handout in there. You have potions of healing, climbing, animal friendship, greater healing, water breathing, superior and supreme healing, as well as invisibility. And you can pick up spell scrolls as well. Cantrips are 25 gold first level 75 gold, second level 150, third 300, fourth 500, and fifth 1,000. Keep in mind also that we're not playing AL, so you're limited by your funds. And last in that 1 year, you were all able to gain 1,200 gold to add to your coffers.
I think that's what I forgot to put in there.
So Renly gained 2,400 gold.
There you go.
Can we keep some of that in the cart? I'm encumbered.
I have a bag of holding, so I can carry things for you. Miss.
You also do have chests at your local at your home as well, so you don't have to carry everything with you. There are, of course, local banks as well, where you can deposit your funds. Also,
I invested in a safe as well. So
okay, sure.
I also have a bag of holding, so that's good to know.
Nice. Well, I'll keep the total here, but yeah, I'm not worried about the weight then, because we can have it a little distributed and such.
All right, so feel free to pick it if you want up from the shared campaigns handout there in your journals, and then of course anything you want from the player's handbook. Here in about 30 seconds, 45 seconds or so, we're going to have our first ad break for the evening. So we're going to go ahead and take a small little break while the players finish that up. Those watching, feel free to use the restroom, stretch your legs, grab some snacks, refresh your beverages, and we will be back very shortly. So stick around. There's the sound. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back on the side of the ad break. Players getting themselves some snacks and drinks as well, stretching their legs. Welcome back to all of our viewers as well. Shout out to you wonderful viewers. Also, we did surpass 300 followers last week, which has been awesome. Thank you so much for sticking around with the channel and our content. Very much appreciated. All right, so you were able to pick up some other consumables, potion scrolls, as well as any other any other items, equipment from the player's handbook. If everyone's ready to go ahead and give me a ready check and roll 20. All right, looks like everyone is ready to go. So you're able to make your way, going through, of course, the different bazaars and marketplaces here in Neverwinter on your way down to the Never Death main graveyard to make your way into the graveyard itself. With fairly with pretty much ease, you're able to make your way through the graveyard to the Halleck's mausoleum without any trouble. The first thing you note that the stones of the mausoleum kind of clustered near the wall separating the main graveyard from the pauper's graveyard to the west. Halleck's mausoleum itself is a fairly squat, unassuming granite block in the shadow of larger monuments to the west and south. And you see that the metal double door bears a rusty broken chain, a padlock that hangs off of the door.
Well, I believe, Agnoth, you're pretty good at breaking locks or chains or unlocking things. Care to have a go?
Does this look like a particularly difficult lock?
Not particularly. Again, it's kind of a rusty broken chain.
All right,
Guidance
well,
on you as you approach it.
What was that,
if I have
Donna?
any-
I said I'd put guidance on him as he approaches the door.
Oh, guidance, gotcha. Little tail flip.
if I have any trouble, I guess we can just break it.
Looking at it, you can just pull the chain. The chain that's got the lock on it, and there's kind of a rusty, broken chain that kind of goes through the handles on the door, the double doors itself, made of metal. But you could, looking at the chain, you note that it's just your passive investigation. You note that the chain is broken in a couple slots, and you can easily unwind it to like put it onto one side of the handles to open the door.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick the lock by just ripping the chain out then.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Subtle approach.
So for the viewers, we're going to be going to another screen so that the players can see the map of where their location is. You will be seeing things from my point of view, so do your best, please, to not inform the chat of what's going on. You'll see all of my handouts. You'll see my version of the map, things like that. So let's go over there first, and then we will bring the players over to that map as well. And then we will change our scene. So that the viewers can see where we are located. Your characters are located up here in this room here. The door, even though the lock and the chain is very rusty and such like that, this unassuming granite block of this mausoleum, the door opens noiselessly. Obviously, the hinges of the door seem to be well oiled. The interior of the crypt here is very dusty with numerous tracks seem to be descending the staircase in the towards the south of the room. Against the walls, you do see 6 stone coffers, 3 to each side, a stone slab engraved with some of the names, birth year, and death years cover each coffin. Members of the Halleck's family, looking about, they seem to have died about 40 years ago, shortly after Mount Hootnow erupted. And it does look as if these stone coffins do seem to have had their lids kind of ripped open, crumbled around the base of the coffins themselves. And looking inside, you can see there do seem to be bits of bone here and there, as well as some scraps of cloth. But it doesn't seem as if there's any other pieces of the former occupants of the coffins as you're looking at them from your vantage point.
Is the lid destroyed? Is it still
Yep.
there? Is it just off to the
Destroyed.
side, or
Destroyed, and pieces of it cracked here and there on the ground, as well as a little bit of rubble in the front of each coffin.
I'm going to try to take a look at the pieces. Do I get any sense of how they've been destroyed?
Go ahead and give me an active investigation check. If someone's skilled with survival, you might be able to even make a survival check as well.
And you still have guidance?
Or I could roll a 20.
Agnoth got it.
So with guidance, 30 plus. Nice
Yeah,
Minerva.
let's do that because it's fun. 32.
32.
Oh my
Between Minerva and Agnoth examining the coffin lids, they were fairly sizable stone lids, and they seem to have slash marks on the outsides of them. And you do note where something was perhaps maybe with sharpened talons or something clawed at the outsides of it. You can see the edges of the lids by picking up some of the broken pieces and such like that do seem to bear like claw marks around them as well. It does seem as if the coffin lids were pulled towards the center of the room where you all stand now and were kind of tossed to the ground.
That doesn't seem like standard investigating procedure. Right? It doesn't, right?
Correct.
No.
And something strong must have done this, right?
Perhaps.
Because I don't know. I couldn't throw these around.
Are they big claw marks? Like, how large a thing, creature? would have had to
Probably
do
some
this?
sort of medium-sized creature from the size of them. Like you've seen like cestises and things like that on warriors and things along those lines, like different like blunt cesti, is that the plural of cestus? And some of them with like blades and things like that. It does seem as if like if you put your hand up there, if you're instead of like fingernails, if you had like talons or claws, that's about the same size as your hands.
Blink puts his
Maybe a
hand up
little
and says,
smaller since you are a gnoll.
It probably wasn't the gnome, but it could have been one of the other 3.
Probably wasn't me.
Oh, look at me. I'm not even
Just
allowed
have
to touch stuff most of the time. Blink does it.
We're dealing
So-
with something immensely strong, I think.
So have we looked through the item, the stuff itself, or
No,
I-
just looking through there, you note that there's just pieces of bone and scrap cloth.
okay? So even if I,
Examining them, perhaps maybe it might have been burial garb, and the
okay,
what bone chips and small pieces of bone that remain there. With those investigation checks, you can see that the marrow has been sucked out of the bone.
ooh, yeah, I'm using my mage tentacle to
Kind of
You know.
manipulate it and such. Yeah.
yeah to move things around, stir things around. This is very
Devon
strange.
is definitely trying to put it back in good order, to be respectful, to try to sort everything out. She's looking around at the rest of the group to see if she thinks she can suggest taking an hour and casting ceremony as a ritual, but she doesn't think that's going to fly.
Do we know any creature that would suck marrow out of bone?
Real quick, before when you think of that, and perhaps maybe whisper it to your companions or whatever, Das and Blink, please give me active perception checks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's asking for nothing.
Yeah.
And Renly too.
Oh, look at
Some people pay attention, Das.
It's because there's two of you.
You will not. You can easily mention something, Renly or Blink, to your companions, as you hear kind of the scraping of metal upon stone, and it almost sounds as if something marching. But to the south, you see some figures come out of the darkness. Let me bring them over from the GM layer.
Minerva would have cast Mage Armor before coming in here, so
Sure.
count
I'll say, I think I hear the gnome down there.
What's up with the gnome?
I don't know if it's a gnome, but I definitely hear something.
Oops, that's not supposed to be on the token layer.
And then, I feel like this is as good a time as any to
Roll
remind
initiative.
Mitch.
You are correct.
No, well, I was going to say to remind Mitch that I have Devil's Sight, instead of just normal dark vision.
Yeah, everyone should have your tokens should be set up with your vision. Let me go ahead and double check them for you for your dynamic lighting. Oh, Devil's Sight. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that up there. We'll save that. I just had you at dark vision. Anything? Let me. What about for Minerva? Does she have anything special?
I think she just has regular dark vision. Dark vision.
I do believe it's set Blink up since Blink has Goggles of Night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do note two figures that seem to come out, and with your check of 20 as well as your check of 18, really you do hear that there seem to be others as well somewhere behind them. Let me go ahead and try to bring open their character sheets. Seem to be getting a little bit of lag in roll 20.
This is why it's called Never Dead, by the way.
Now that's spookier. Yeah.
Let me refresh. Luckily, I don't have many handouts open. Let me refresh my roll 20 screen. Apology to the viewers.
Sir, are they wearing noble clothes?
That's a good question. Actually.
Ooh. Yeah.
Not something we can really answer right away, as it is the beginning of combat. So let me just make sure that this is working here.
It's not Fashion Week, Blink. We'll talk about it later.
And they don't have token actions on their tokens in this. It doesn't appear that they do. Very interesting. It might be the case that, no, they are definitely representing creatures. Huh. All right, well, we do have initiative. We have Minerva, Das, Renly, Agnoth, Blink, and Devana in there, as well as the bad guys. We will sort that initiative. The first to react is Renly.
Yeah, big blast at both of them, and if they hit, they get moved back 10 feet. Hadal's Icker.
Here's what the creatures look like. There we go.
Beautiful. First one, 10 force, and it moves back 10 feet. Second one, I'm going to assume that hits as well. 14 force, and it moves back 10 feet.
Any other effects towards them?
As far as my blast, no, it's agonizing and repelling. Yeah, I like.
Oh, it's
essentially
just
both.
You say a Dullseeker, but it's Eldritch Blast. Gotcha.
Yeah, Hadalzik or Eldritch Blast. That's what I named it, and I'll say, we can check their clothes later, but for now, let's make sure they don't try and rip into our clothes, or bodies, or organs.
And Agnos, you're up.
Is it just those two?
You don't know.
We heard... I'm sorry, I thought you said I heard more further away.
Yeah, but we can't really... Of course, this is, combat going on, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to, start blasting. I'll open up with the circle of blasting and do Scorching Ray. So I think I don't have the sheet set up properly, but I'll just do the rolls manually. And it'll be on the one to the right, and if that drops, I'll switch to the left.
Okay, your first attack will hit.
Okay.
For 8 fire.
And the other two if they hit.
Yep. Oh, nice. 12. And the last one. Oh, it did.
3
okay,
was
3.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay, and I'm just going to stay here because we've got a little bit of a traffic jam. So.
All right. You do see these kind of step back here and draw their longbows. This one here will attack first. Use this multi-attack action. So first thing it will do is we'll attack with its life drain at Das. AC of 7 will miss. And then its longsword. AC of 11 will miss. The one here will fire at Blink with its longbow. Critting for 5 whopping piercing damage.
Ow!
Second attack will miss. Then the two in the back, again, these the first one's going at Das, the next one's going at Blink. Das first, critting for 16.
Devana! Or Devana! Devana!
No, Devana just reaches out with her hand. She sort of missed the first crit. It all happened so fast. But the second crit, she reaches out with her hand and negates it.
Using the Guardian Emblem. Okay, so only 8 piercing.
And -3 because of his heavy armor master. So down to 5. That's just 5 damage.
And
Thank you, Devana.
And the second longbow will miss. And then the last 2 attacks at Blink. AC of 22.
Yep.
The 3 piercing.
Sir, is
then
Devana
miss.
really playing favorites here?
Don't think too much about it, Blink. It's okay.
I would have negated it, but then when I saw it was only 5 damage, I was like, no, I'm not going to waste it.
And Blink, you are up now.
All right. Okay, the guy. Well, I think Das has got that one. So first, I'm just going to send the echo on through with my bonus action, and just get him up in this guy's face.
Now,
they can take op attacks if they want them.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, this one will definitely take an op attack. Actually, it will not because it has its bow drawn, but this one will take an op attack with its longsword.
Certainly, it is allowed. I think. I don't know.
It will
Echo notes are
miss.
so weirdly written. Okay. But the echo won't do anything. I'm going to step up there and I'm going to spit on each of my hands, and I am going to Great Weapon Master hit the one to the south of me, or
Okay.
at least attempt.
A 24 will hit for 27 slashing. Is that a magical greatsword?
It is a magical greatsword.
All right.
And one more attempt. 12
Unfortunately,
probably
that will miss.
Okay, that was movement action bonus. I am done.
All right, Devana.
Devecna will action Twilight Sanctuary. Giving everyone 12 temporary hit points. And just for the viewers out there, we know this is typically at the end of their turn, but just for simplicity, we house rule it that everyone gets it when I cast it. So everybody gets 12 temporary hit points.
Yeah, they will get it at the end of your turn. You just roll it every turn to see if it increases theirs. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna change the way we play that, Mitch?
No, we've always played it that way. At the end of your turn, you roll the dice and you get that, and then they get it at the end of their turn.
No, we've always done just let them have it at the end of my turn. But we can change that.
No, I've always had you roll it at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, we do.
So
I don't have much of a memory, sir.
Any bonus
Yeah.
action?
Yes, I will bonus action squeeze forward and put looking for it.
Whoa.
You should have your special spiritual weapon in there as well.
I'm not gonna do spiritual weapon. I'm gonna bonus action give Blink more AC.
Oh, gotcha. Shield of Faith?
Yes. Thank you. I don't know why I can't find it on my spell list. Maybe I don't have it memorized. I thought I always had it memorized.
Should just be a level 1, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I have not set up my spell list correctly because it is technically one of the ones I should always know regardless.
Okay, yeah. What are your one of your
yeah.
domain spells?
Exactly. So I will set up my spell list in Roll20 correctly immediately, but that is what I cast on him to give him
Okay.
+2 AC.
Excellent. All right, that brings us to Minerva.
Thank you.
All right. Let's purify with fire. Sorry, Blink double. Right. I'm hoping I get the one in front of Blink and not Blink, right?
Oh, are we needing a spell template for Fireball?
Yeah, it's not there. So
Oh, no. As we said earlier, I had to archive a lot of them because it was weighing things down. But whenever you need a spell template, let me know, and I can just go ahead and restore it
Oh, okay. All right.
to the room.
Well, that's it anyway. That's it right there.
You'll have it right there.
Okay. That thing go away. All right. So, oh, not you. Crash that. Wrong thing. Okay. So, I get that guy. So it gets the bottom guy's suit, right?
If you move it over one like this, we'll get the bottom guy.
Okay. All right. It was hard for me to see. Okay. Where did my sheet go? That is not my sheet. Apologies. I think I closed it and all that. Yes, let's purify it with fire. Come on, sheet. Oh my god, you're right. There is a delay.
Yeah, a little bit. It's weird.
Here. Let's maybe this will be faster. You go there. There we go. So that's quickened. Let's see what damage that does.
All right, so Blink's echo will be gone, so I'll let you pull it back by you there, Blink.
Sorry, Blink. Sorry, Blink 2.
This one will be gone. It will, even if it makes it save, will still be dead. I will attempt to save for the injured one. It's a dexterity saving throw. DC is 17. It will fail, taking all 22 fire.
Nice.
And then we will make the attempt to save for this one here. I will make it save, taking 11 fire. That was your bonus action. What's your action?
Then I'll just go ahead and I'm going to just go ahead and throw a firebolt at that one furthest away.
The one in the back or the one in the front?
The one in the back.
Okay.
For those, because I can.
Can you hear me in the back?
That will hit. Yes, definitely hit.
Nice. For another 15 fire.
And that will finish that one off as well.
Yay. And I'm just staying in the back here.
All right, Das, you're up.
All right.
Um,
I'm in trouble now.
Yeah. So 12 hit points added on here for Twilight Sanctuary. Thank you again. And Doss is going to throw up not literally, he's going to, a blinding smite as his, I believe that is a bonus action. And then swing away with precise strike at the creature in front of him.
Okay.
So, with advantage with his +1 longsword. All right.
21 will hit.
All right. So we've got 16 damage from that, plus then from the precise strike. So that's going to be a D8. Plus then we have the blinding smite that then lays on top of that, which I believe is a 2d8. Let me go over the spells and throw that in here as well too. Blinding smite.
3d8.
3d8. Additional. Wow, these are crap rolls, but that, and then we'll also throw a second level smite on top of that as well too.
Real quick, let's go ahead. What is your DC again? Your DC is 16 or 15?
It is 16 for spells.
Okay, so let's make the con save first for it.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot the actual blinding part of blinding smite.
It is not blinded.
All right, and then we will now throw a regular second level smite on it. That will be 4d8 because it is, I'm guessing, undead.
For 16.
All right, that was attack number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Attack number 2 is going to just be a regular attack. No advantage or anything. 18.
Will hit. And that
will
will finish it off.
All right. Doss just like swings in 1, 2, the thing goes down. And then he will advance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right into the thick of. He knew there were. Thought there were more. Maybe they're all dead. All right, that's it. Turn.
A couple of them are dead.
Top of the round, back to Renly.
No.
Renly, seeing that, would be like, oh, Das just cleared the way for us. All right, that's perfect. And I'll move right here, and noting that Blink probably doesn't want me moving any further. And I will take 2 shots at this guy here on the stairs, because maybe I can finish him off.
Sure. 14 will hit.
Oh, wonderful. 13 and 10 feet down. And Hogam, that means 28 will probably hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another 10 force, and if he's still up, he's 10 feet. He bumps into Das.
He is dead. You do feel a limp body hit your at your ankles, Das.
Kick it out.
If you look back up, I will be like, I don't know, and I'll point to Blink.
Anything else for Renly?
No, I'm good.
All right, Agnoth.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I guess. Is it possible to like climb on top of one of the tombs here, so I'm not in Agnoth's way?
Yeah, with your movement, sure. Yeah, they are leaning up against the wall. You can actually like lay down in one of them. You know what I mean?
fine
Like,
with
kind of
that.
lean back into it. Yeah, sure.
Sounds good.
Oh, man.
Cle-
Okay, I won't do
After
As you
you.
do, Renly.
We'll just-
No, I'm just teasing.
rush up to this one and start trying to thump it with the thunder gauntlets.
Na, 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 na.
That's a 12, and I think I get 2 attacks, so I'll do another one.
That's a
Ooh,
crit.
Okay.
Oh,
They did the
Another
same
12.
damage. Is there
I
anything
will
extra
not
that goes in that?
Crit. I will
Not.
let that go.
Well, that is all I can do, but that was interesting, and it's nearly dead.
All right, the white's
Well,
turn. The white will turn to Das and try to use its life drain. It will miss. Then it will attack with its longsword. Will miss as well. Blink, back around to you.
All right, I will pop up another one of the dearly departed,
Sorry,
and
Blink.
bring him down here. Yeah, crunch all you want. We'll make more. Bring him down there, and as the echo attacks, I'm going to walk over to Renly and just berate him for putting himself in danger, stepping out in front. Because sir, you really can't be doing that. And while I'm lecturing him, the echo is going to take one shot.
Oh, that will hit. And that will finish it off.
I
Sir,
immediately took cover. I didn't go in front of you.
I heard what you said, sir. You just I'm not going to argue with you, sir. Just, sometimes you get a little bit too brave. It's what we respect about you.
But I'm
Perfect,
so
Devana.
brave.
Perfect, Devana. So after the combat is over, Devana obviously has her Twilight Sanctuary for a minute, but the next one does give you everyone 16 temporary hit points. So everyone, you are out of combat now, so everyone go ahead and put on that you have 16 temporary hit points from the channeled divinity of the Twilight Sanctuary. Now, do you have an amulet of the devout with you, Devana?
I do, yes.
Did you want to use that as a free usage of your channel divinity from that?
Yes, please. So I'll
Okay.
have 2 more left.
Mm-hmm. But looking about in the room here, where you find yourselves, where these creatures were, it does seem to be some sort of lower mausoleum. You see the stone stairs descend from the mausoleum to a large subterranean chamber filled with stone coffins sitting on sturdy shelves. Part of the west wall is collapsed, creating an opening into another chamber beyond. You did see scattered about the on the floor the remains of 5 pale, desiccated warriors wearing wicked-looking armor. On further inspection, the armor itself is actually made of leather and does seem to be painted of some sort.
So wait, leather armor that's painted? Is it having symbols?
No, it's just like a silver color to make it look kind of wicked-looking.
Oh, okay.
They have
Devana
basically
will
they have
hand-
the picture of the whites that look really, really badass, like they're wearing plate, but the actual stat blocks have them wearing studded leather or wearing leather armor.
Devana will hand Blink and Doss just a regular potion of healing, just to top them up a little bit.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you. You want me to drink this?
Yes, please. Save me some spell slots later.
Das, that was quite something. Made that one down. You practically smashed it into smithereens.
No, it is for the glory of the returned gods of Kryn that I am able to strike down such evil creatures with such, with such gusto and the best everything.
And as Blink is drinking his healing potion,
Clap Blink on the back. It's like, easy. You don't have to get it dialed down in one go. Oh, Blink.
Go ahead and roll your hit points for the healing potions.
Yeah. 2d4
Minerva?
plus 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Minerva's gonna pull out her fancy wands that she likes to carry around.
Mm-hmm.
One which is what are they called? They have different names. Wand of Secrets and the Wand of Magic Detection. Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and use a charge from each one of them.
Okay. The first one, the Wand of Secrets, doesn't indeed reveal something.
Oh, I was gonna do it earlier, and I'm like, no, I'll wait till we get down in this room.
There is
there
a
we go.
secret door behind this coffin.
This wand is so handy.
This coffin here is actually open.
Ooh, and what's in there?
Looking in that coffin, you do note that there are 4 wool cloaks that do seem to be perhaps maybe worth a bit of coin, as well as 2 wide-brimmed hats.
I'll shove them in. If they're not too full of ash and bone dust, I will
No,
shove
they're
them.
actually very clean.
That's odd.
Do they
They're-
look like
And also,
contemporary Neverwinter fashion?
they do.
Ooh.
And in one of the pockets, as you pick it up, a vial almost falls out in Minerva, but you're kind of able to grab it. And since you use the Wand of Magic Detection shortly afterwards, that vial does glow.
What kind of magic?
I believe transmutation.
Oh.
Let me double check real quick.
I'm like seeing her pick it up, and then like with her tentacle mage hand, she catches
Mm-hmm.
the vial as it starts to fall.
I'm sorry, illusion magic. Illusion magic.
Illusion magic. We'll have to identify this later.
You can always do the sip test with it.
Okay, I'll dip
potions.
my pinky in, touch my tongue, see if I recognize it. Oh, very nice.
There you go.
You now cannot
Is
see
one of the-
your pinky.
is one of the cloaks gnome-sized. Blink refuses to let go of suspicion of a zombie noble gnome.
No, it is not gnome-sized.
That's what they want me to think.
Oh my god. It could be magic.
But you
What do you
can
got there,
inform your
Minerva?
companions if you wish of
Yeah.
the secret door behind the coffin there.
Oh, I definitely do. I'm like, oh, this one comes in so handy. There happens to be a secret door over there. Beyond that coffin, down yonder.
I would like to inspect it for traps.
Go ahead.
Is that investigation?
Guided.
Sure. Yep,
And I hear
guidance
a
is fine.
guidance on that, which is good because that's a terrible roll. That's a terrible roll too. 11.
It does not seem as if it seems to have any traps. You can't really you can barely make out. I mean, it was described to you being in that area by Minerva and checking that area. It does seem as if the wall does seem to perhaps move somehow, but you can't discover just on the door itself what might be used to cause it to open.
I'm just going to kick it just in case.
Okay, go ahead and give me a strength athletics check.
Can I guidance him again when I see he's going to do this?
We'll go ahead and put you up over there beside him then, Devana.
Okay.
And I believe the rest of you, go ahead and make sure you had your 16 temporary hit points. I think I put that in your, make sure you fill in both boxes though, when you put that on your character sheet. Or, I'm sorry, on your token, I should say.
Basically, we're all in Glyph of Warding range.
Yeah, I was just saying. The DM is suggesting that you're about to lose a bunch of hit points.
No, I was just saying that the guidance is touched, so she wanted us to be up there to guide him, just in case something like that happens. But
That's a 22.
it does not budge.
Well, it was worth a try. I will step back and let people with more insight, maybe something else, work out how to do it.
With your investigation, oh, that's right, you did roll an 11 on your investigation. I could say this.
Passive,
Go ahead, Devon. I'm sorry.
sorry, Devon, passive investigation of 20. Would she notice anything looking over his shoulder?
Actually, no, you don't. But both of you, with having fairly high passive investigations, the whatever opens the door might not be visible.
Oh.
It might be hidden somewhere, like in a coffin.
Like a different switch. Yeah.
Or Minerva's pinky.
Right. Yes. So. Yeah, I'll look at other coffins. Are these closed? Are the other ones all closed?
Yes, all of the other ones, other than the one to the north east, are closed. Yes.
Well, first I'd have to make sure they're not booby trapped. I'll go to the one up here first,
Okay.
and I will investigate and make sure. I'll let the other ones know. It might be hidden. Hey, that wasn't too bad.
Opening that coffin, looking about, again, very similar to the coffins that were leaning up against the walls in the Halleck's Mausoleum to the north. You find bits of bone and scraps of cloth, but nothing else in the coffin itself. Agnoth and Devon, do you want to check the ones to the south?
Yeah, you
Blink?
might want to check the one right underneath
Sure.
the door, too.
Do I clock anything with my passive?
No.
Okay.
I like low numbers.
You have a +9. That's so crazy.
But Devon, if you want to give me an active check as well, oh my goodness. What is going on here?
Oh, I can reroll checks. I think only I can reroll checks.
What are y'all
I just
doing? You're just
feel,
walking around looking at the sky. Or looking
Yeah,
at the ceiling.
there's this cold feeling that creeps up my spine, and I just get a little distracted. And I'm also really worried that I didn't get a chance to put those souls back at the front gate to rest. So I'm kind of thinking back to that front gate, wishing I could have done ceremony.
Gotcha. So why don't we go ahead and do a group investigation check? Let's try that.
Yeah.
That will represent all of you kind of looking through all the coffins together, relaying the information that you find, things like that.
Oh my God,
And
Renly got
Renly
enough
is the
of
only
money.
one of us who actually has eyes.
Yes, right.
Devana's resizing all her screens to get better rolls next time.
Don't forget, we do have, of course, your emote if you want to put that in there for your macros.
Yeah, right.
So what is it? /change dice.
If you go up in your collections, the top right corner, it should be the very last icon right before your gear icon, which is your settings. You should be able to click on the collections. That should have macros in there. You just have to activate your macro bar. And there's a number of macros that you can all use in there, as long as you select your token first, of course. There should be an initiative macro, ability checks, saves, skill checks, recharge, and a DM whisper, which allows you to click on that button and whisper directly to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Das, Savannah, Renly. Go ahead. Agnoth, give you another investigation check there too. Still.
Oh, I can use my meta magic and redo my roll.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll spend
Mhm.
a point. Why not? 13. But yay, Agnoth.
Nice. So checking through, after a little bit of time, you're able to discover that in the back of this coffin, there's a panel with a latch. and clicking, pulling on that latch, the door slides open
Ooh.
to reveal about a 20-foot hall beyond it that ends at what you can see appears at first to be a blank wall, but it as well does hold a secret door.
So there's another door to open. I see.
Das realizing
Das,
he's
you want
yeah,
take
loves
a
to
running
go
start?
first, but also wonders. Yeah, Das will go and investigate, but realizes that if it's anything about secret door investigations, he's going to have to back out and let.
You can easily spot that from this side, and you can see where it can be open from this side as well.
Easily.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, he's just going to march down the hallway and just open that door.
All right, go ahead and open it. Feel free.
Click.
Opening the door, you see rusty standpipes and interlocking cogs cover the walls of this small alcove. You do note that there's also a door to your west.
He'll say, yes, those of you with keen eyes. See what's going on here in this room that's interesting. I'll keep going.
As Das continues to roll forward quickly, Devana runs to catch up with her and casts Warding Bond.
Okay.
I step back towards Blink and whisper, "He has less hit points. Don't take it personally. You're stronger."
I didn't take anything. You gave it to him.
Only because you're stronger. I let Blink know.
Nice.
So, Das, I don't think I've ever cast that on you. Effectively, you take half damage on everything but psychic.
Nice. Excellent.
Sadly, the other half goes to me. So
All right.
don't get hit.
Yeah. How's this door looking?
The doors that you've been encountering so far in the chamber, going through the ceilings themselves are about, in the passageways, about 10 foot high. The majority of the rooms, the couple of rooms you've been through so far, they're about 15 foot in height. All the doors are made of heavy stone with metal hinges.
So the pipes in the stream, I want to take a look at them. Do they look like plumbing or something?
Perhaps. Definitely some sort of clockwork mechanisms as well.
Well,
Funny
give me
thing to
some
build
reason.
in a mausoleum.
Yeah, it's strange. Given this room is pretty tiny, I'm not sure. And Blink's echo is taking up an extra spot. I'm just gonna click open this door and keep us moving, friends. Click.
Okay, opening that door, you notice more pipes along the south wall of this room disappear into the walls near the ceiling. Complicated series of cogs and four-hand turned wheels connect to the pipes in this room.
Agnoth, more pipes.
Sorry, Das, you also get a +1 to your AC.
Oh, thank you. All right. You guys think there's anything interesting in those pipes, or do we keep with the doors?
Does it seem like the pipes are steaming? Like what might be in them?
You could go ahead and examine them if you wish.
I'll take a look at them, sure. Well, drawing attention to them.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
See how it goes. So hit or miss it with me. It's a 10.
They definitely, as Agnoth mentioned, they definitely seem to have something to do with water. But
Okay.
they don't seem to have any dials or anything like that. They just have the wheels that can be turned right or left.
Oh, wheels.
Do we hear anything like flowing through them?
Give me a perception check on them.
I was wondering if Devana, with her major passive, would hear anything.
You can tell that there's water seems to be flowing through them. Which direction you can't really tell.
These seem to
Perhaps
be in-
they might perhaps be flowing to the west, maybe.
These at
Devon
least seem to
points
be
to the
in
west.
use, which is, I mean, honestly, from what we heard from Hockey, whatever his name is up there, Das's friend, it seemed like we weren't really going to find anything, and yet as soon as we come in here, there's scratch marks on tombs, there's, you know, undead tearing after us, and there's active plumbing.
And we
I feel
found these
like-
The
cloaks. that-
plumbing is really the suspicious part.
Yeah, I would call this mausoleum a little more active than advertised.
And we found cloaks.
Yep.
You want us to deactivate the pipe, sir?
No, well,
Let's do some more looking around before.
yeah,
doing any
it's
damage.
curious, but I don't think it holds the answers to where these noble people might be. It's
It
just
holds-
curious, is all I'm saying.
It holds water, sir.
Yeah, but
Alright.
why
I
are
don't-
there pipes in a mausoleum? How new do they look?
Give me an investigation. Nice, Devana. Looking them over, you can definitely tell that they do seem to be a little bit old, but they are still in use. It does seem that if you turn the handles, basically it's kind of like the wheel handles on like a spigot or something like that, that if you turn them to the right, it would start to allow more water to flow. If you turn them to the left, it would cause water to stop flowing.
I just think it's super suspicious that there are pipes in a mausoleum. So I will
That
turn
is
it
true.
all the way on.
Okay, so one moment. That sound does mean we
Okay.
do have a ad break coming up. So everyone stretch your legs, use the restroom, refresh your beverages, and we will come back on the other side of the ad break after Devon has just turned the water all the way on. So stick around. We'll be back in a few. All right, welcome back on this side of the ad break. We're just discussing the wonderful event that is happening next week, starting on Wednesday, going through the 31st, going through August 4th. 4 best days in gaming. Gen Con is next week. Our Captain Renly and his wife are going to play. Is anyone else amongst our group playing this weekend, or are you all going to be playing with the
Right now.
online event? Anyone playing the online
I-
event?
Sadly, have a work thing that I'm traveling for, so I'm not going to be able to participate.
I'm doing
I
one
am AWOL
epic
as
event.
well.
Summer Nights thing, I think it was called.
Yes, yeah. So we had one of our members of our Discord. Of those watching, if you want to join our Discord, it should be popping up every once in a while here in chat. If it's not, double check in the About Us section below. You can join the Master of Dungeons Community Discord server, where you can. It's a one-stop shop for Adventurers League and D&D updates. That way you don't have to go through and pour through all the different Discord servers to find all of the updated information. We have all of the information coming in from D&D Beyond, all the official information from the D&D server, as well as our Baldwin Games server that I partner with to do in Wizards of the Coast to do our virtual D&D weekends, and of course Gen Con information will be coming through the D&D server as well. The WotC crew is supposed to be at Gen Con again this year. We did have them come through last year for Gen Con as well, but they're going to be there in force. And it has been finally announced, so I can actually announce it and mention it now, since I've known about it for about 4 or 5 months now, because it has been finally announced on D&D Beyond. But you will be able to purchase every day for free a ticket to have a chance to get in line in order to purchase 6 weeks early the 2024 Player's Handbook. Will be available for purchase at Gen Con. There's going to be I believe it's actually on the floor of Lucas Oil Stadium to accommodate the line, which you'll be able to get the ticket. They're going to have a certain number of tickets every morning at the Gen Con tickets place there in person. You can go there. I think you might be able to order them online to pick them up there, but you can get your tickets at the kiosks there to be able to have a chance. You're not guaranteed a chance because it's only going to be open so long. They are accepting credit card purchases only, so no cash for those. But the 2024 Player's Handbook will be available for purchase at Gen Con this year, which is going to be really, really cool. But yeah, I'm running the D&D Open. I'm running 3 slots of that. The way that works is tournament style D&D. Basically, it is competitive. The players will bring their a team of 5 players will be playing some pre-gens. And they will basically play in 3 rounds of competitive D&D. Well, they'll be doing certain things where their team will score points or lose points, depending on what they do, of course. And through 3 different rounds, they'll actually play with 3 different DMs too. They won't have the same DM for each round of the event, and they have a chance to win some really good prizes. Which includes not only the Player's Handbook, but also the DMG and the Monster Manual when those come out. And all those details are up on the D&D Beyond website as well, talking about the D&D Open. And we're also going to be doing a 50th anniversary epic session. I believe that's Friday night for that I'll be running that. And Captain Renly, if I happen to be there and you and the wife want to be at my table, let me know. Or let the marshals know, I should say.
Yeah.
Let the marshals know. Can't guarantee.
Do you know if you're doing a specific tier?
I am doing tier 3.
That's where we're at.
Because I believe you all know how I feel about tier 4.
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But yeah, so then we've got a panel on Friday afternoon, 1 p.m., where we're going to be talking about all the story lead all the writing process, getting authors together, all that stuff like that for the different campaigns that we've done for Wizards of the Coast with Baldwin Games. And then my favorite panel is going to be Sunday at noon. Normally I'm gone by then, but I don't have any events usually for Sunday, but we do have a panel Sunday at noon on which I'm going to be chatting about writing in the Forgotten Realms with the inventor of the Forgotten Realms. Ed Greenwood is going to be on that panel with me, Eric Mingy, Shu. She is the story lead for our Dreams of the Red Wizards Kindred Spirits storyline, as well as Savannah coming in to talk about the new storyline for the Moonshays as well. So that should be, hopefully I'm going to sit down and make sure everybody doesn't mind that I record it. And then maybe talk about it on stream that Sunday evening, the August 4th. So Gen Con is coming up.
I'm very excited to hear how that panel goes.
I am as well. That's the main thing we're going to be talking about is his ideas, his thoughts on, his Forgotten Realms, his baby being used, obviously, as it's been being used for decades as one of the main game worlds for D&D, with 5th edition actually being the first one that is the official game world of D&D. Obviously, the movie came out set in Neverwinter. And around Neverwinter, and then the whole idea of what's it like sharing your world with other writers. I mean, I've collaborated briefly with him on my adventures that I wrote for Gamehole Con, and to be able to actually sit down and chat is going to be really, really cool. They always say don't meet your idols, so hopefully I don't trip going up onto the speaker stage to talk during the panel. But we'll see how things go. All right, back to the adventure tonight, the Eve of Ruin. Devana turned the handles and turned the water all the way up. The pipes shake just a little bit, but you can definitely, with your passives now, hear the water flowing fairly quickly through the pipes now.
Which direction?
To the west.
All right. Follow the water. That's what you would say, right, Renly? Like I'm the captain now. All right.
What
Oh,
now?
snap.
Don't let Link hear you say that.
Oh, snap.
Wait, what?
Nothing, Blink, nothing. We're just heading to the west.
Go ahead, Doss. You can open the door there.
Okay.
Looking into this room, you can see in the center of the room is a deep stone basin that's set into the floor and filled to the brim with water. The surface ripples, revealing several watery type forms inside. You also note that there is a passage to the north, a small passage to the west, it looks like. And that's what you can see from your vantage point. You also note that the rusted pipes that run along the ceilings and the walls with water flowing from nozzles in the ceiling pipes. Again, the water in the basin in the middle of the room, this kind of fountain area, you can see the circular nozzles. Water is just filling the water below. And from your vantage point, Doss, you do note a figure a form come up out of the water with the water flowing now. And it kind of like comes up out of the water briefly. And then it kind of ducks back down into the water as the water being maximized by Devana in the previous chamber.
Yeah. Doss, seeing this, will communicate it to his colleagues and look specifically probably to Renly since this is water themed, or all of these guys are, well, Doss is water themed, but this is particularly one of their, more like their water theme, and let one of them go first.
Should we turn off the water?
Yeah, is the water overflowing after Devana not at all foolishly turned it all the way open?
It does seem, but Doss, I can say this, the creatures seem to be frolicking.
Oh,
Happy.
all right. Well, let's go in then.
But yes, you do note that the water was already to the brim, and it is kind of starting to spill out on the floor a little bit around you. But as you do, you note that the creature does kind of bring themselves out above the water line.
Renly, weren't you just saying that you already speak primordial?
Indeed, I do.
Captain can do anything.
As they see you enter, they're kind of frolicking in the water, and then they happen to note you coming into the room, and they immediately turn around, and they seem to be on the verge of attacking. But go ahead and
if
give me an insight check.
Yeah.
Renly, with that 13, and being that, you speak primordial, you have a water speed, all of that, or the swimming speed and such like that, they seem to be hesitant and confused.
If I'm smart enough to reckon that I should use primordial, I'll say in primordial, like, "Oh, what fun, good friends. May I join in?" And take a step towards the fountain.
Okay, go ahead and step forward there. They seem...
Blink readies an action to throw Renly back.
Okay. They seem to not be as on guard, but they haven't fully let their guard down. And the one responds to you in Aquan. Being that you can speak primordial, you can understand the tongue of other primordial creatures. And in understanding it through primordial, it's almost as if they're speaking broken primordial, even though they're speaking, fluent Aquan. Basically says something along the lines is, you don't look like the robed ones.
Oh, no, I wear more of a coat. I have this lovely bit of elven chain here. Robed ones? What do you mean? You've seen other creatures like us in the area, but just with different clothing?
Yes.
Oh.
They
Well,
torment us.
They torment you? How terrible. Do they not let you play in the fountain? And again, may I? And I'll lift up a leg, like a foot, to see if I can step into the fountain.
And they'll kind of make room for you if you wish.
Ah, that's better. No, why would they torment you?
We do not know.
Ugh, that sounds absolutely terrible. We would never torment you. And then I say back in common to everyone's like, we would never torment these creatures, our new friends.
No, never. But how are they tormented?
One moment.
Go ahead.
And I'll say, so how do they torment you if it isn't just not letting you play in the fountain?
Oh, we remain sulking here under the water's surface. They are not members of the Waterclock Guild. Why they are here, we do not know.
Renly's eyes are the size of dinner plates, and he's just like, sorry, what's this about a Waterclock Guild that you say?
Yes, this was once the headquarters of the Waterclock Guild.
Have I ever heard of anything about the Waterclock Guild?
Not even close. And the actually, if you want to give me a fairly difficult DC for a history check, feel free. You might have come across something in the House of Knowledge in the year that you've been here.
No. No.
Nope.
The Waterclock Guild. The Waterclock Guild.
Yeah, just from the name of it, I'm like, this is the best guild that has ever gilded. And I'm like, well, that sounds terrible. And what fun is it to have to stay beneath the fountain? Isn't this more fun? And I like splash a little bit of water like onto myself and say, no, well, first of all, My name is Captain Renly, and I'll bow and say, these are my friends. We call them the 10 Eels. I would love to learn more about your Waterclock Guild and what is needed to join, for sure. But also, if there are people down here tormenting you, that doesn't sit well with me at all. Could you maybe point us in the right direction and maybe we'll reason with them?
If you wish, but the Waterclock Guild has been gone for some time. Where they have gone, what has become of them, is long since past. I have no recollection of even when the last time we saw a member of the guild.
Oh,
We
well,
were
you know what
bound.
they say. Two's company, three. There's 3 of you right here. I see no reason why you couldn't reform.
We were bound to serve the Waterclock Guild. And from the conversation, you kind of get the idea that these were some other type of group that had summoned these watery creatures to basically, serve them. They go on and mention that when you say something about those that torment them, they say that these robed figures, these cultists, worship some god whose symbol is a hand and an eye.
That obviously gives memories of our dream,
Yep.
right?
Yes, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
I
don't know.
Which you've all come to realize
Immediately-
is not actually, it was actually happened. It was not a dream, yes.
right.
we all know
I
Focus
immediately
cause problems.
And you all know that
Uh,
cultists cause problems, yes.
Yes, cultists
Yeah.
are problems. And I
I
think we have some of their
immediately-
robes.
take a minute to aside that in common to everybody since I'm speaking primordial.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say that oh, terrible cultists. No, that will never do. Cultists are anti-guild and cultists can cause problems. We solve problems though. And so
Agnoth, those robes you took, do they have hands and eyes on them?
No, Minerva
You know,
has
the ones
one.
from scripts. Oh, Minerva. Yeah, it's hard to keep track.
That's right. They're in my bag holding. Did they have hands and eyes on them? They were just red.
No, Agnoth kind of was, when Agnoth asked if they appear to be Neverwinter type of garb, you could
Yeah.
easily discern that with the wide brim hats and the cloaks themselves, they were used to kind of disguise themselves when they would go out. Most likely, if these are the cultists, they would use them to disguise themselves to go out into Neverwinter.
Oh, that's regular.
I was first thinking they might have belonged to the abducted people, but now that makes more sense.
Shifty gnomes.
Yeah, the thing about the gnome being the wrong size is what threw that theory off.
Do you relate any of this that your companions are speaking to the creatures? As they do look at you expectantly, really.
yeah, so I had taken a second to let my party know about the cultists, the eye in the hand, so that they know all about that. And then I'm talking to the water creatures and relaying that, like, we don't like cultists. We're actually here looking for some of those things. Like, if you point us in the direction and of where they are, we'll make sure they take care of you and we will make sure to take care of them and make sure they do not torment you anymore.
They mentioned that they do not know exactly where the cultists are. However, they do mention that the only locations that they know of is that they know that there's a fish-headed creature named Shanzazem that lives up the stairs to the east. I'll put that name in chat for you.
That this way?
Up the stairs to the east.
Yeah, okay.
And that the cultists have a prisoner locked in the room down to the south.
Oh,
A small creature.
well, would it? We're here not only to deal with these cultists, but also to free perhaps some prisoners. Mayhaps would you let me and my compatriots go and free this prisoner and move them out safely?
As long as the water continues to flow and they can continue to enjoy the water, they have no problem with that.
Absolutely, water is meant to be enjoyed. It's not just a substance to prolong life. It's a substance to enhance it. That's how I like to think about it, anyway. Okay, we have a prisoner to the south and some shananana up to the east, stairs in the left. So, I guess we need to decide what to do. Probably free the prisoner, right? Yeah. And then I'll
Devana?
say,
Devana, with your passive perception, you notice something very shiny. Standing here at the kind of the edge of this fountain pool, it does appear to be about 25 foot deep. And with the water kind of churning up, you do note something shiny kind of churning at the bottom of the pool.
I will point that out to Renly, knowing that he can easily get to it.
Okay. Go ahead, Renly.
I'll say, ooh, happen to notice a shiny bauble down there at the bottom of the fountain. You mind if I take a look at a gander?
They don't mind. They have no use for any baubles or trinkets.
All right, and I'll bend over and pick it up, see what we got.
Easily swimming down there with your swim speed, you note that there's a silver bracelet set with some diamonds. That's worth a bit of coin. Let me go ahead and let you know what you've gathered coin-wise so someone can keep track of that. The cloaks and the hats. There are 4 cloaks worth 10 gold each, and the 2 wide-brimmed hats are worth 5 gold each. And the bracelet itself that you've just discovered is worth 150 gold.
It's a lot of numbers, sir.
What do you care? You don't keep track of it. No. And I'll say,
Nice.
To them, like, okay, well, I'll tell you what. We get through all of this. We get through these tormentors of yours. We free the prisoners. Everything okay. You and I, us, the 4 of us, we're gonna have a conversation of starting a new water clock guild. And I say, pleasure to meet you, and thank you for our safe passage. And I'll come back out, and like immediately as I step out of the fountain, I'll look at Blink and I'll be like, I talked to water.
They will go ahead and submerge themselves back into the water.
Sure you did, sir. Sure you did.
Free the prisoner, Devana says.
I mean, yes, that's probably top priority.
It might be, but maybe this fish creature, not one of the cultists, maybe has info. I don't know.
I definitely think that's stop number 2.
The prisoner might too.
Ah,
True. All right.
I mean, we can always split up.
I mean, you can literally, but
That's what I mean. Yes, sir.
well, you know what, Blink? They mentioned that there's some big old creature. We would hate for that big old creature to come, attacking us while we're here freeing a prisoner. You mind putting your echo right there?
Yes, sir. Whatever
Thanks,
you say,
Blink.
sir.
Just making
Well-
sure that nothing's coming up from behind us.
Well, let's see.
And prisoner was to the south, right, Mitch?
Yes.
Cool.
I do have a. Speaking of eyes, I can create an eye that I can move it around and it can watch and I can communicate with it, mentally receive information. If we think that we need some sort of scouting. But, we can decide that. Basically, I have arcane eye.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Cool.
Let's see.
I don't know. Life goal. I just talked to some water weirds in
I
the
know,
water.
that was-
I feel
that
feel
was pretty
great.
cool. That That was wonderful. I love those kind of moments.
It was also weird.
Yep.
Yep.
In other news,
Uh,
water is wet.
Yes. All right. So, okay,
Giovanna asked Doss to check the door for traps before you bust it open. And I
Das
tried-
will like pat the door, being like, "Nothing's exploding when I touch it." All right, fine. Opening the door.
You can definitely see that the door itself is padlocked from the outside, and you note, unlike the one to the doors outside of the mausoleum itself, this has a brand new sturdy lock on the outside of it.
Sir, are you sure you talked to water, sir?
You just saw me.
I know, but they didn't wave
Giovanna
goodbye.
changes
Oh.
her cast and puts resistance on Doss, and then steps back a little bit.
Oh, another on. Okay.
All right.
You still have +2 to your AC. Nobody's gonna hit you.
Oh, does that actually last that long? Wow.
10 minutes.
I'm going to try to pick it. And that's probably sleight of hand with the...
Oh, so if Shield of Faith only lasts 10 minutes, it's definitely been gone by now.
I will recast it on Blake.
Don't waste your
When
spell
he
slots, it's
says,
fine.
"What, another spell on Doss?" I will re-put it on Blake.
Is Shield of Faith concentration?
It is.
Okay,
it
so you
is.
can't cast resistance at the same time.
Agnoth, why does it say it's like 0 plus 0 plus
Right.
4?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think the +4 is from proficiency bonus.
And do you have any? I'm assuming you don't have a dex bonus,
That's right.
and that would be it. And rolled a
Don't you
4.
have- Don't you have expertise as an artificer?
Yeah, that's true. Have.
Well, I have proficiency in thieves' tools, I presume. I don't know if the expertise applies to that.
You get something special in all.
Don't you have some all-purpose tools +1?
I do.
Yeah.
That would the +1 would add, which would give you a 10.
Okay.
But that still is not enough to unlock the door.
All right.
All right, so I guess it just jams.
Plan B. Agnoth, please step out of the way.
The water elemental leaks up behind you, Das, right here near the edge of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to give Das a wedgie.
It says, "Do you wish to go into that room?"
We
Yes,
do.
that's where the prisoner is, right? We're trying to free the prisoner.
Ah, yes, I would be happy to flow into the cracks around the door and burst it from the inside.
Oh, how kind.
My guy. And I put up a hand for a high five.
It stares at you, unknowing what a high five is.
I make a water high five at the shape water.
Yeah, like this. And I splash myself. I'm like,
Right.
see?
It kind of looks at you oddly, with its kind of shapen form, but does sleek over, and you see it kind of disappear into the cracks, and all of a sudden, on the other side of the door, you hear a shout, a gravelly shout and scream, as the door bursts open. We're just going to go ahead and remove this door.
That was meant to happen, right, Friendly?
Yep. Oh, yes. Haha. That's one of our water friends from the fountain. They did that for us.
Oh, well, thanks in advance, or however it works.
That's true.
Yeah.
None of us actually, except for Renly, probably understood what that thing was saying. So we just see it flick
Yeah.
in there and hear screams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the kind of move only a captain could do.
Did your friend just drown the prisoner, sir?
No, wait, I hope not.
But Das, you can see the water leaks down the walls of this cell and pools on the floor in front of you. And you see sitting back, kind of shaking a little bit as the water, you see that you can hear the dripping of the water kind of pooling in the room, the rushing of a little bit of water kind of slowly going down, perhaps maybe a clogged drain, a rusty drain. But you see a dejected gnome sit on a sodden mattress
Uh-oh.
in the corner in front of you.
Keep Blink back.
I don't see him yet. I don't see him yet.
No. Das disappointed that he did not get to ram his way through that door, but still will walk in saying, "Your savior is here," and pick up the gnome and walk out with him.
He's very, very weak. Too weak to even fight you. You do note that he does seem a little bit malnutritioned. And you see Das, the rest of you see Das walk out of the room with a limp gnome, barely conscious, under his
Careful,
arm.
Das, they're tricksy.
Das, maybe we like introduce ourselves, offer to help them and everything before just lugging them around like a sack of potatoes.
He doesn't
Just
even
enough.
weigh what a sack of potatoes would weigh. Here, someone help him. And
So he looks like he could use a potato or two.
You set him down there on the ground.
I have a regular potion of healing.
Does
Feed
he
him.
look wounded or does he look exhausted?
He looks exhausted and malnutritioned.
I offer him one of my rations.
Oh, who are you and why are you here?
Well,
We're
think
being
it-
sent by Lord Neverember to investigate some missing people, and you seem to match the description of one of them.
I am Umberto.
yes, you are one of them.
Ah,
You write books.
I do. But he kind of looks at your rations, Ivana, and kind of with a little bit of not necessarily disdain, but this is I could not eat rations. The cuisine here is already poor enough as well. As is, he says.
I rifle through my bag and pull out some fresh carrots to add to the rations.
Have you? I mean, it's been a year, but have you kept any of that spider souffle?
No, I have not.
That would be pretty
it
nasty
comes out.
spider egg souffle by now. That's for
Oh.
sure.
oh, that is what would make it nasty.
Yeah, so I have in my bag some fresh cherry tomatoes and some fresh carrots that I brought back with the eggplant from the mountains. See here, well, this might help perk you up a little bit.
He kind of looks at it a little disappointed, but will reluctantly take it and start eating.
Well, when we get out of here, we can get you a much better meal. Would a healing potion help you at all?
Good. Give me a medicine check.
Oh, Minerva, sure. I'm good at that.
Devana will do so also at this mention.
Sure, but Minerva, you don't see any injuries on him, so I mean, you are magically inclined. You don't think that the magics would help him in this condition. Probably just natural rest. He does go on and mumble something about really preferring some tasty food, and does ask if anyone has the ability to create food by magic.
Unfortunately, that is not my cup of tea.
Devana certainly does, but she doesn't have it memorized today.
Nope.
Just have...
Sorry, buddy. I'm guessing thus rescuing you from a prison cell and guaranteeing your safety will have to be enough sustenance for now.
Promise to get you a good meal when you
Are
get
you
out.
literally gaslighting the NPC that you just rescued, Brinley?
Well, I mean, he's being a little rude. Not even a thank you yet.
We're trying to give him what we have.
Oh, and
Plus, I've
he
got a-
is accepting it, obviously. Definitely
Yeah,
seems
I've got-
as if his capture here and his imprisonment here has definitely taken a toll on his mind.
Yeah, I have a water clock guild to build.
So you can easily surmise, being experienced characters, that he's definitely faced some sort of traumatization, been traumatized by his
Captain,
situation.
is this guy giving you problems, Captain?
Wait,
No,
wait.
no, not at all.
Inside my bag of holding, I find some pre-divergence wine. that I've been holding on to. I find
Demona
I
shakes
find
her
the little.
head. Save it. Save it.
Also, if we do notice that he is like mechanically exhausted, I do have something for that.
Is he
Would-
mechanically
Yeah, would we notice that, Mitch?
What do you mean? Like he has levels of exhaustion? No, he doesn't have any levels of exhaustion.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I had I misheard. I'll say, well, Umberto, are you aware that a few other folk in Neverwinter have also gone missing?
I've not. I just know that these cultists of Vecna are my kidnappers.
Cultists of Vecna.
Yes, I assumed that is why they kidnapped me. I'm one of Neverwinter's preeminent experts on Vecna's history.
Ooh.
I see. They never said what they wanted with you. They just took you because Vecna.
They want information from you?
Give me a persuasion check, if you would, Minerva.
Oh,
You got it, Minerva.
I hope so.
Do you want to slap her with your tail, Devana?
If you will allow it, I'm not close to her though.
Well, that's okay. I think 23 is
Well,
all
if
right.
you were offering him food, you would have been up there beside him, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
which is fine.
Here.
Oh,
sure,
nice.
here. I'll add it on there. There, 25. 25.
Yeah, he's like, see, I have a bit of a secret. I am a historian of Vecna. I've been working on my most latest clandestine research project, researching the ancient rivalry between Vecna and his treacherous lieutenant, the vampire Kaas. I've been
I don't trust people whose names sound like that.
keeping.
Yeah, I know. It's so similar. It's a very powerful sounding name.
I've been keeping my research to myself so that others do not beat me to publication, but I'm a bit slow when it comes to writing. Very meticulous.
And they found out somehow.
I believe so, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Who's they?
I think the cultists, right?
And Umberto
No
nods.
problems.
Well, perhaps they can do a little what I can do. And I'm going to try and detect his thoughts. Just for the heck of it.
Okay.
To see if I can get any more about what he's talking about, like kind of as he's talking about this, about his book, and see if I can get, sometimes when you talk about stuff, you get certain imagery, whatever. So.
Are you just to detect the surface thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'll see what I see at the surface thoughts and see if I want to probe a little deeper.
Okay. Obviously, since he's revealed this, the first thing is he's very timid in his surface thoughts that he just revealed a very important secret about himself. So before we continue, I'm going to go ahead and explain a mechanic that we are going to be using while playing Vecna Eve of Ruin. This is something called secrets. I'm going to go ahead and take everyone back over to our chat channel here, so we're not going to be distracted by the map and such like that. Basically, what's going to happen is your characters will have a chance to learn certain things called power of secrets. You will get certain secrets, and we do have a secrets tracker that I will that you can keep. You basically can keep it. I'll keep one separate for your characters. I would recommend using your if you go up to your character sheet and you see it says core, then it says bio. You can keep them on your character sheet. You can keep them on a notepad wherever you'd like to. I believe you also should all have journals in there as well. But you will gain certain secrets. When you note, I will let you know when you've earned a certain secret.
Okay.
And you all start to note this, that you can magically spend secrets like currency. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can reveal the secrets to the multiverse to gain a momentary boon. Whatever is infused in this complex has given you this knowledge, the magic within it, or whatever. You also get the knowledge, Minerva, that your arcane eye probably would not work in this area.
Oh, interesting.
As you know, arcane eye is from the divination school of magic,
Okay.
and the divinations from the priests of augment would not work here as well. In order to reveal the secret to the multiverse, you must use an action to whisper the secret into the wind. However, when you do so, the secret is gone from the minds of every one of your characters.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend a secret, the boon is that every character in the party gains advantage on D20 rolls for 1 minute. Now, if you spend a secret to whisper it to the multiverse, to whisper it to the wind, and you gain this boon, you might hear that information again from that secret again, but you cannot spend it once you've spent it. You may relearn that information, but it can't be used again for that special mechanic. If you
Advantage was for a minute, Mitch. You said?
yes. If you share the secret with any NPCs or anything of that nature, the secret will immediately lose its power and counts as being revealed. Now, unlike whispering it to the wind to use the ability, if you do reveal it to someone else, it does lose its power and does count as being revealed, but it does remain in your minds. But you gain no benefits from further revealing it.
I'm assuming you're going to have a handout with all this info on it. Right?
Yes, not at the moment,
Okay.
but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Minerva, as Umberto had whispered this, you feel something vibrating very quickly in your pack.
Okay. I reach into my pack. Is it the eye?
You grab the jar and you see the eye glowing green staring right at you.
Uh-oh.
And all of you in your minds hear, foolish wanderers.
So do I, with my ring of mind shielding?
No, I don't say you hear it in your mind. You hear it like
Oh.
around the area here, but Umberto does not seem to notice it.
Okay. Got it. So it was foolish. I'm sorry. Foolish what?
Wanderers.
Well, I don't know. Do I feel that this eye is tracking us as opposed to tracking
and then it goes back to being a desiccated eye. And it stops glowing.
Curious. Very
That was a little
curious.
creepy.
Um,
What made you pull it out?
It was shaking. It started vibrating. Like it called.
Because yeah, when you had pulled the jar out, it was spinning very, very fast, which was causing the jar to rattle. And then as you pulled it out, it stopped, and the eye was staring right at you. It almost looked like a black, the slit of like a serpent's eye or something of that nature. And it all was glowing like a sickly green, almost fluorescent, sick green color, with the slit itself black. And then after you all heard that, it went inert and dropped back to the bottom of the jar, back to a desiccated eye.
and just so
Now,
I have
Blink-
this clear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Blink.
Blink would probably not notice it, but for the more perceptive people in the group, did this starving gnome react to that?
Not at all. He didn't even seem to notice it. He's actually, when you look back to him, he's continuing to talk about, it's not even really, he seems to be chattering about all of his knowledge of Vecna and this treacherous lieutenant, this vampire named Koss, and
That's a vampire.
he's rather endearing the amount of love and all this that he has for this knowledge of history, and you can just tell that his love of knowledge and all of that just kind of shines through. He just seems to have a little bit more of a brighter smile on his face. Perhaps it might be from the fresh carrots and tomatoes that Devada fed him, but he definitely seems almost as if like he's had this secret for so long, but kind of letting you all know what he's been doing seems to have lifted his spirits a bit. He's still, a bit mentally distraught from his capture. He does mention every once in a while that he's, cannot wait to get out of this prison or whatever, because he really doesn't know where he is.
Oh, well, you're just in Never Death graveyard underneath there.
Oh, and he starts rattling off history about the Never Death graveyard and stuff like that, but quickly goes back to discussing Koss and Vecna. And give me a moment here, and I can give you some information as well.
Feels so good to info dump, doesn't
Right?
it?
Maybe we should get him to safety.
I want to ask him as we're escorting him to safety, if anybody else has come to talk to him about this, or has anybody asked him questions, or has he
we will get to that here in one moment, but I'm wanting to kind of give you information from his info dump that he's talking about. He does let you know that hundreds of years ago, Vecna and Koss were close associates. They were driven men who shared similar evil outlooks. Koss admired Vecna for his sadism and thirst for power, while Vecna valued Koss's ferocity and cruelty. By the time Vecna became a lich and the despotic ruler of an empire on the world of Oerth that he mentions, Koss was the leader of Vecna's armies and the lich's most trusted lieutenant. And he even pledged his life to Vecna, and in return, Vecna gave Koss generous gifts. The lich even created a fable sword called the Sword of Koss for him. And this intelligent artifact was of pure evil, was meant to serve Koss unquestioningly. But over time, Koss and Vecna began disagreeing about strategies to expand the lich's empire. And convinced Koss was more gullible than Vecna, Sword actually urged Koss to kill and supplant Vecna. Sword wanting nothing less than full control of Vecna's empire through Koss. Koss finally betrayed his liege when he confronted Vecna in the Lich's tower. Koss killed Vecna, but before Vecna died, Vecna flung Koss across the multiverse. Koss lost the sword in his flight. All that was left of Vecna after he died was one hand and one eye. These eventually became artifacts known as the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna. In the aftermath of this battle, Kas transformed into a vampire. He later became the ruler and a prisoner of a mist-bordered realm in the Shadowfell, in a place known as the Domains of Dread. A domain specifically called Tovag. Eventually, the dark powers of that realm whispered to Kas that Vecna had risen again, becoming an evil god of secrets and magic on Earth. Vecna's defeat of Kas most likely grated on the warlord's ego. But meanwhile, Vecna's husband was rebuilding his power, and the Lich yearns to finally destroy his former lieutenant. And that gives you pretty much the information that Umberto is rambling on about. But go ahead, Devana.
Damn, you detected all the thoughts.
I politely listen and suggest to the team that we should start escorting him out. So as we are escorting him out, I would like to ask if any of the occultists have come talk to him.
Not of late, but it is very close to an ad break, so we can get more information perhaps about that on the other side of the ad break. So those watching, go ahead, stretch your legs, use the restroom, refresh your beverages, grab some snacks and the like, and we will see everyone come back here on the other side of the ad break. So stick around. We'll be back in a few. And we're back on this side of the ad break. Welcome back, everyone. And Devana was asking questions of Umberto if he had any information about the cultists visiting him. He does mention they have not really spoken with me much since they put me in that room. And by now, you note that the water around you is pretty close to his knees.
We're heading out. We're escorting him back.
Oh, wait, Devana, aren't there three, like multiple? Are there others that we need to also be saving, or are we?
Yes. but we're
Umberto
so
does mention, yes, I know that they have one more somewhere to the north, but how many other prisons they have, I'm unsure.
Shouldn't we get him to safety first? We don't want to be having him tag along with us, do we?
I mean, he'll be safe in my bag of holding.
For
He kind
10 minutes?
of definitely looks to Blink with a shock on his face. Agnoth, Renly, and Renly and Minerva, you can tell by that with just a passive look that he definitely understands arcane magics. And he's aghast at putting him in the portable hole.
Nope. Birdie, my boy, we won't be doing that. Blink, people can't breathe in the bag of holding, and that is a necessity for most people.
Good to know, sir.
Right. Well,
I love how Blink learns something brand new every session. Whether he remembers it the next session is up, it just depends on Blink, right?
Devana will absolutely take her lead from the captain, but suggests that we should get him to safety, and just sees what the captain does.
well, I think I'm concerned if we leave here now, we're leaving the other 3 prisoners in danger. I think if we send him out on his own, we're leaving him in danger. In a way, I think the safest place for him might be with us right now.
What if we get into another fight?
Blink holds up the bag.
Stop it. You're not wrong, Agnoth. If we essentially take him to the entrance and say, go on your way, what's to say more cultists aren't walking by and go, Umberto got loose, let's grab him up and take him back inside.
Oh, I have those extra
Yeah.
cloaks. I have those extra cloaks that he could wear, even though they're
We
not
have
dome size.
We may have to take him somewhere else, like the Moonstone Mask, and that's halfway across town.
As you're talking about it and describing that you're actually in a mausoleum in the Never Death cemetery graveyard, he says if you can just get him out to the graveyard, he can make his way back to home and report in that he's been rescued.
That's what I'm saying. The door is not very far, but we did
Okay.
want to go see this fish person, right?
Yeah.
All right,
And-
well,
Noting that the chamber is filling up to our knees, Devana will skirt back in and just turn that water back down to about where she found it.
That's fair. The entrance is only 2 rooms away, or 3 rooms away, right? We came through the secret door into that.
Yep.
Yeah, you should have your is your explorer mode on? Let me double check.
Think so.
Okay, let me change that real quick on the map.
No, it's not. But we did come very directly.
Somewhere there, and then over there.
Yeah,
and
we're
then
not
there.
that far from the entrance.
Yeah.
But absolutely, whatever Captain Renly thinks.
Let me
Devana
do
will
this
No,
real
I-
quick.
if we can safely get him back out, and he can make it home on his own, you feel up to that, Umberto?
He does.
If that's the case, then I'm fine with doing that and then exploring. I just didn't want to put him outside and then cultists come up and be like, "Oh, what are you doing out?" Yoink, and grab him and come
Dawson
back in essentially.
Yeah, Dosh, you should be able to see the rest. Oh, it's not showing that for you.
I know, I
Egnoth's
see-
just
I-
taking.
I do
Notes.
see the explorer mode now.
Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and
Alright,
group
sir.
everyone. Let me group everyone else up real quick just to do that since we're here. I've already got it turned on. That way, you'll at least be able to. Oops.
Sir, are you saying that Das should escort him home?
After the way Das dealt with that undead creature, I think we need Das with us.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
There are options, is all I'm saying.
Okay, so everyone else should have their have the explorer mode on. Sorry about
Yeah.
that, guys.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it literally probably would take us less than like a minute, or no, maybe not a minute, less than 5 minutes to probably just escort him
Are we
back.
in this way? Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't take you very long at all.
this way. All right.
All right. So give him a cloak. Let's escort him back. Give him a cloak.
Yeah, you don't have to move all the way back up there to the entrance. You can stay down here. It's fine. I can just
All right.
go ahead. You can easily escort him up there. He will take one of the cloaks, definitely.
I'll give him a cloak. I'm giving him a business card to the shop.
Okay.
I'll give him a dagger if he wants one. As I have a couple.
He does mention that he has a few cantrips if need be. He should be fine.
Okay. All right.
And you have rescued Umberto. So there is a doorway to the, there's a hallway to the east that has a door. There's a hallway to the west that ends in a door as well. And there is a broken hallway to the north with a little bit of rubble in it that leads into another chamber that you had seen from the chamber where you fought the whites.
Okay, but the fish guy was up here.
The
Right.
fish-headed guy, from what Umberto said, yes.
Maybe we should go talk to Fishman.
Yeah, sushi time.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Fish heads.
Roly-poly fish heads.
Fish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not opening the door. I already almost got chopped just for stepping into a fountain.
Das, would you do us the honors?
Yes. All right.
We could just knock.
Yes. Open sesame.
Awesome.
It has not been more than an hour, correct, since our first fight?
For what purpose?
A warding bond.
No, warding bot's still on. Sure. Opening the door, you see rubble chokes the southeast corner of this room, Das, leaving only a small gap near the uneven ceiling. Some of the rubble has been reassembled into a low table, which bears small clockwork components. A hulking, fish-headed creature wearing exquisite silk finery carefully examines the tiny parts. Give me 1 second here. There you go.
Das is the one that has actually.
Real quick, as you open the door, Das, you see the creature turn to you again with a fish-like head. It turns to you. What do you want?
And Das, under the incredibly wise leadership of Senate, you've encountered this before.
I was going to say, and I believe that thing was quite brutal to us too. So Das, while this is not quite a draconian dragonborn situation, Das is going to draw his sword and keep it pointed at the creature as he marches into the room.
If Minerva sees it, she's gonna like, hey, Bradley, maybe you should talk to this guy.
Yeah, you would have seen Das draw his sword as he and stiffen up as he marches into the room.
So before you march into the room, let's go ahead and deal with that then. So Das begins to draw his sword.
Hmm.
Whatever, what do you do?
I say, Renly, maybe you should go talk to the fish guy first. I don't know. I think Renly's good at talking to all sea creatures now. So
Right?
I'm Aquaman.
yes. It's
Okay. Das has drawn his sword and moves into the room.
Mhm.
What does everyone else do?
Everybody Step
Um,
aside so Renly can push forward.
Yeah, cool. Hold on, Das, don't be poking things quite yet, I guess.
As you enter
Oh,
into the room, you see the creature, and it again kind of stares at you with Das with his weapon drawn, stares at you, Brinley, and is like, "What are you doing here? Entering my home."
I am treasurer of the Water Clock Guild. My name is Renly Mulfane, and Captain Renly Mulfane, and these, my compatriots, are the 10 eels.
As you say that, you see the little, the fins on the side of his neck kind of flip, and you see his eyes kind of narrow down, and looks to Das and looks back to you and says, "Tell your pet to put away his sword. You are no members of the Water Clock Guild. It's been defunct for years."
You heard him, pet, but I will not hear any ill words against the Water Clock Guild. I guess.
Like,
Is this happening in common? Are we all
No, this is
understanding?
not common at all.
Oh, okay.
good.
Unless
Yeah.
he called you
Except-
pet, unless when he called you pet in common.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was thinking was in common. So I said, put down your sword, pet.
Yeah.
I was thinking the
I
guy at,
have
the
no reason
Water
not to
Clock
do that.
Guild.
Yeah. So because Das would not realize it called him pet and would just think Renly is being obnoxious or weird, Das will not react to that insult.
Okay,
Quite
okay.
But will sheath
Oh,
the sword.
And Rinley, you obviously knew it was some sort of insult due to him being a bull, like a minotaur.
I'm trying to portray, the
Oh, of
Water
course.
Clock Guild. They don't take no guff, and so
From what you think you might know of the Water Clock Guild, and
yeah,
obviously,
totally.
this creature looked at you and said, "The Water Clock Guild has been defunct for years now."
But you are not aware of the newly revived Water Clock Guild. I myself am treasurer, and then I met 3 lovely beings out there in the fountain, and we're starting something up. You want in? You want in on this? What's your name again?
And you see his lips and the fins begin to flap kind of back and forth as he starts to chuckle. At first, it sounds really, really creepy, and then it turns into a laugh.
Big belly laugh.
Oh, yes.
You're not part of the Trade Federation, are you?
Oh God.
You barely seem to be adventurers, are you?
Oh, I adventure like all the time. This isn't even my first adventure today. After breakfast, I went out and talked to some people.
Again, I ask, you have entered my home. Why are you here, and what do you want?
We're here to rescue people.
When you say
Yeah,
that, well, actually, again, this is in Aquan.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't
Yeah.
understand them. I don't understand them.
Does nobody else understand Primordial?
Nope.
It's
I
all
don't.
you, sir.
Like Minerva
Just a
said
bunch of
earlier,
chitter
you're-
chatter, chitter chatter.
like Minerva said earlier, you're the only one that can talk with the fishes.
Yep.
All right, I'll walk with the
You
animals.
do this
talk with the
every
animals.
campaign, Greg. Every
What?
campaign.
We'll have to have it.
Sorry,
Start
I'm
calling
sorry.
him Aquaman.
I have to get tongues, don't I?
Or the
okay,
deep from the
so,
voice.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna
All
go
right.
venture that far.
There we go.
But I will say, your home. Say, do you know that there are other people marching to and fro throughout your home, kidnapping the people of of Neverwinter and bringing them down here for storage? Do you allow that in your home?
He looks around to the 4 walls in the room and says, "This is my home. What happens out there, I cannot partake in."
So you're not aware of that. Well, so that is an answer to your question. Outside your front door, your lawn, you might say, your neighborhood, people are using the surrounding rooms to trap good, humble folk of Neverwinter and bring them down here and keep them prisoner. We're on a search to find these people and rescue them, and if there's no rescuing that needs to be done here, we'll leave you along to do whatever it is you're doing, which is what, pray tell?
Trying to put things together, as it were. You're not members of the cultists, and you seek to aid those that the cults harm?
I swear to you on the honor of the Water Clock Guild. Yes. And
Every time
and
you
if you're
mention
looking-
the Water Clock Guild, he seems to get more pissed off.
Oh
Okay,
no.
I'll stop. I say, but if you're looking for a hand on putting things together, we actually have an incredibly well-educated tinkerer with us who goes by the name of Agnoth. Say Agnoth.
What?
We have met another new friend, hopefully, and I don't know if this creature speaks common or not. I know they're speaking in Aquan, but I don't know if they understand common, so I called him a friend. Who is putting some things together. Maybe your expertise in the tinkerings and the machinations and whatnot could be of use.
Could you explain what he's doing?
Mitch?
What does really know about tinkering and clockworks and things like that?
Oh, probably less than 0.
All right, so feel free to ad-lib it.
I believe he's got a couple of what's-its and who's-its and maybe a whatchamacallit or a berry here that needs some finagling, and the phalange seems to be off the left. Stuff.
Fix the phalange!
But this is why we need you up here, Agnoth. You're so much better with these things and the devices and what have you.
Looks like I should have prepared comprehend languages or something.
So sorry, my name is Renly.
As Agnoth steps into the room, he kind of looks back to you and says, "Yes, you're not a member of the Water Clock Guild. Your pets are animals."
Well, hey now, let's.
You note that the language that he says it in is not insulting.
To each their own. I mean, you have qualities that some might call aquatic in nature, and maybe these people are more land-based creatures, but I don't see any reason to call them pets. They are friends. But
He kind
at this
of looks
one
at you
in particular,
he looks at you very strangely when you say the term in primordial, almost as if he doesn't understand the word friend in Aqua.
friend? Not familiar. What about companions or co-workers?
Whatever the translation is from primordial to Aquan, he does understand coworker. Kind of like comrade or something of that nature.
Compatriot.
Yes, something like that.
Anyway,
He does. Then he does have recognition. Ah, yes.
Yes, and this one right here, and Agnoth, you just hear me babbling in some foreign language. I'm like gesturing to you. I'm like, yes, this one right here is a genius with the tinkering and the tools and whatnot. They've got all kinds of tools for all kinds of things. We'd be willing to help you out if you could maybe point us in the direction of where some of these cultists were, or where maybe some of the other prisoners are.
He does
You
go
seem
on.
to not be.
Go ahead.
You seem to not be too you seem to not like the cultists.
He does go on, for lack of time, since we are coming to the end of tonight's stream. For basically the lack of for lack of that, he is bound to this room. He was bound here by the Water Clock Guild, which he knows has been defunct for years. He does suspect that the bindings might have disappeared for him to be able to escape. So instead, he spends his time here trying to reassemble one of the Water Clock Guild's most intricate clocks. He does mention that his compatriots, obviously referring to the water elemental and the water weirds, are definitely seeking to escape. They doesn't know much about the cult themselves. He does mention that he has decided to reassemble a mechanical clock that the Water Clock Guild left behind. He believes the thousands of parts are all here, and reassembly shouldn't take more than another few years. Of course, he doesn't mind it because he definitely enjoys the work. The cruel cultists bully the elementals and are keeping a prisoner nearby. He does mention that the prisoner is a gnome, which you already said you freed. He does mention that the pipe system runs through this area that lead to part of the crypt where he cannot go, but to which the pipe's water flows. And he does explain to you more so about what Devana already figured out about how to maximize and minimize the water pressure in the areas. Does note that if you mention that you've maximized them, he suggests that you minimize them as soon as possible, because that does lead into rooms where cultists most likely are, and that water accumulating will most likely alert them to your presence.
Immediately, I think to ask Blink to go do that, and then think better of it and ask Devana to go do that.
So I already turned it back down.
Of course, it will, if you turn it to maximum and leave it there, it might flood out all the rest of the cultists. In short order, he says.
And possibly the prisoners, though, right?
True. He didn't think about that.
We don't want to be doing that, then. We want to make sure that the cultists are not aware of our presence being here, and maybe we can take them by surprise and sneak in and get the prisoners and get out. Although I guess we don't want to leave the cultists alive, right? We're going to kill some cultists, right? I say in comment to the rest of the group.
Yes. We give you a big thumbs up. Are you sharing any of this conversation with us, or is that the first thing you've turned around in common to say?
I've said a couple of things here and there, like Agnoth, and this guy needs help tinkering. Okay. Yeah, but as we get a lull and I feel like he's not going to leap out and attack us, I'll share.
Oh, he's not going to attack you.
Yeah,
but he does.
I'm saying as I get that,
He said when you do mention that you're going to want to clear out the cultists and save these prisoners or whatever, he does offer you, if you can clear out the cultists, since that's what you're planning on doing, he does offer you a gold-colored flywheel. He hands it over to your group.
Fancy.
Hey, it's on our agenda already.
What is that?
He tells you that
she would like to know what this is.
He tells you what it functions as. Functions basically as a stone of good luck.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. That's neat.
I mean, sir, why don't we just ask your friend to come with us? He can point us out where all these people are.
So you said you're bound here by the Water Clock Guild, but if they're defunct, are you sure you're still bound? Or is there anything we could do to break that binding so you're free?
He already mentioned to you he's not willing. He suspects that they might, the bindings might have expired, but he's not willing to test that yet because he wants to finish the clock. And once he finishes the clock, which he said will take at least a couple more years, He
my.
will test that, test the bindings then.
Okay, so I don't get the impression that this is something that Agnoth could help him with and
Correct.
be like, okay, we're good.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I just like present the stone to everybody, tell them like what it is, and share the entire conversation with this person.
Sure.
Including the pets commentary, or
Yeah, why would I exclude that?
because then we would have to roll initiative when we have our next.
No, because
no.
because of the fact that if he did explain that, he would also explain the fact that it wasn't meant as an insult, that he was just talking about a common word for compatriot or co-worker.
See?
Sure.
See?
Subservient pet. That's what he meant.
But on that note, we are going to go ahead and leave you all here in this room. In the fountain here, the water has been minimized so that it is not flowing as powerful throughout the rest of the pipes. And we will pick up next week. Yes, we are going to have a extra special bonus episode next Tuesday, July 30th. Which I'm going to be spending that day on a couple of FaceTime calls with my wonderful sister down in Georgia. This is going to be her birthday during the day. And that evening, we'll get to play some D&D, another fun session of Vecna, Eve of Ruin. But that is going to bring us to the close of the adventure tonight. The one last thing I want to check, who is going to carry the stone? Obviously, you can't attune to it yet. And who is going to carry the potion of invisibility? As this is the first magic items outside of what you've gotten in that year break that we have to divide up because, unfortunately, we're not playing AL anymore, so we only get one copy of the magic items.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
I suggest Minerva take the invisibility.
Hold on, because I
I
kind
like
of
that.
found it.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Right, cool.
I
the
wouldn't.
stone.
I wouldn't attune to it. I'm kind of full up. Anybody else want it?
What was the stone, or is that the flywheel?
The flywheel.
It's the stone.
It acts as a
Yeah,
stone
the
good luck.
flywheel. Blank, do you have an attunement slot open for that?
I mean, I do, but I mean, it's a flywheel. That's kind of weird.
I know Agnoth actually would probably thematically would work better, right?
But then again, he's also an artificer.
Yeah.
Do artificers ever have any attune slots open?
No.
the most attuned slots. Are you kidding?
Yeah, of course, but they're always full with more attuned items.
My artificer has had a stone of good luck. It was a very handy thing to have.
That is true. That is true.
Mhm.
But
I mean,
you have
if
the-
we're just talking mechanically, Blink has an open attunement slot.
Yeah.
Thematically,
if
it doesn't quite fit, but
Open one, you
if
should
no one
take
else
it.
could use it, Blink would be able.
I could switch out the ram of the ring of the ram, but if you have one open, I think you should take it.
Yeah. Don't make me
You could
order
probably-
you to take it.
Is it to it's ability it's saving throws, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of those mental stat saving throws that Blink could probably use.
I mean, you
to help
guys
with.
could probably easily convince Blink that having that stone of good luck would also extend that luck to him protecting Captain Renly.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yep, that'll seal it.
Was that our last open slot? Nobody else has open slots?
Doss has an open slot, but he already has his own aura, so I don't think it's.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think it's better.
I
better
mean,
to use
you
something.
can have it. I mean, a stone, a flywheel, kind of like hamster wheel pet. I mean, it kind of fits.
No, I
And,
think you should keep it, Blink.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and leave the characters here in this room with a fountain, and we will pick up next Tuesday, July 30th, for episode. Tonight was episode 6.
Hit 6.
Yeah, episode 7
Yeah.
next week.
5 tonight, yeah.
Oh,
No, it's 5 today.
Yeah, we did have episode 0, and then we started counting. Episode 0 was our the one there. So we're whatever one we're at, we're actually it's one more, but episode, session zeros, all stuff like that. But thank you guys for playing. It was a very, very enjoyable game tonight. Thank you all that stopped by to check us out tonight. We definitely appreciate you spending your evening with us, of course. Thanks to all of our supporters, especially our patrons from Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. We're subbing here on Twitch, twitch.tv/themasterofdungeons. We do love Prime subs. They are free to use. The link to our Patreon page, as well as our YouTube channel and all of our social media accounts, can be found in the About Us section below here on Twitch. If you would take the time to subscribe to us on YouTube, usually about 75 to 80% of the people that watch videos on YouTube are not subscribed to the channel, and subscribing to the channel definitely helps out the content creators, and it is free. So if you can, subscribe, like and comment on the videos, share them with your friends. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Give us some likes, retweets, all of that good stuff. Every sub, like, and share helps us immensely. You can also support us, as mentioned earlier, by clicking on the About Us section below. Hit the Discord panel and join the Master of Dungeons community Discord server, where you can help shape an accepting, caring, and inclusive D&D community. You can also chat with the players there as well. We do have a special text channel for chatting about the stream and such like that. You can chat with the players. And of course, the merch store is open. Anything you purchase from the merch store will definitely help support the channel, directly help support the channel. But thanks for watching tonight. We will be back tomorrow for a walk amongst the plains tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And of course, we will have our dungeon delving streams on Thursday and Friday. Thanks for watching tonight. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And we'll talk to you soon. Be safe, be careful, and until then, happy adventuring.